All right, good evening. I call this board meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for joining us this evening. Please be advised, in the event of a fire emergency, an alarm will sound. Please note all emergency exits and evacuate well away from the building. At this time, we request everyone to please turn your cell phones to silent. Thank you for your cooperation. At this time, we will administer the constitutional oath of office to our newly elected, re-elected, and appointed board members. So, that will be Liz Dahl, Cam Seeley, and Gianna Phelps here. So, you guys can stand. And I gave you a little cheat sheet, but you're gonna repeat after me, okay? And then you're gonna say aye, and then you're gonna state your name, and then we'll go on from there.
Sure, you're doing them individually, or are we doing them together?
I can do the two of you together, and then Gianna, I will do
Okay.
you separately, okay? Because you have a different, okay? So, I, state your name,
I, Cameron Seeley,
do solemnly swear that I will support
the Constitution
of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of board member according to the best of my ability.
great. And then I have pages for you guys to sign, so it's official, and then I will sign it also.
Congratulations, Mr.
Thank you.
Taylor.
Congratulations.
Okay. I will be you will sign, and then I will be the witness.
Thank you.
Then there's for you to sign in 1 second. Thank you. Okay, are you ready? Okay, so you're just gonna say I, then say your name, and then we can read from the paper. I,
Gianna Pelletier,
mhm,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of ex officio student board member according to the best of my ability.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
That's 26. Thank you. Thank you. It's okay. We. Okay. Thank you. Okay, the next order of business is the election of the president of the Board of Education for this coming school year. At this time, I will open the floor for nominations.
I nominate Elizabeth Dahl for President of the Board of Education of Calhoun.
Thank you. Are there further nominations? Okay, hearing none, nominations are closed. As there is one nominee, all those in favor of electing Liz Dahl as President of the Board of Education, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And I do have to roll call the vote. Yes? I think so.
I think so.
I think so. So we're gonna roll
Yep.
call the vote.
Yep.
Cam?
Yes.
Okay. Peggy?
Yes.
Yes.
Nay.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, that motion carries. Liz Dahl is elected President of the Board of Education. At this time, I am the second order of business is the election of the vice president to the Board of Education for the school year 2026-2027. At this time, I open the floor for nominations for vice president.
I would like to nominate Mr. Arnie Richlicki.
Are there any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Cameron Seeley.
Okay. Any other nominations? Okay. Hearing that there's no further nominations, the nominations are now closed. The board will now vote on the nominees. Each board member is entitled to one vote. So we will vote for Liz Dahl, and then we will vote for Cameron Seeley.
Arnie Richlicki.
Arnie Richlake, I'm
Yep,
sorry.
you're good.
Arnie Richlake, Cameron Seeley.
See that 3 times.
Okay, so. Okay, and then we're gonna conduct the vote by roll call. So, call for a vote for, vice president nominee Arnie Richlicki. Okay,
Aye.
Peggy?
Aye. Sure.
Yep.
Yes, you.
Really? Yeah.
Yes.
Nay.
Okay.
Yes.
Liz? Becca?
Yes.
Liz? Okay. At this time, I will call, or we need to have, I'm sorry, let me just check my notes. Well, because you have to have at least 4 votes. So. I'm not sure. Yeah. Yes. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, that's what I'm not sure of. I'm sorry. Do you know?
I do,
Do
so-
do I call a vote?
You do.
Even though that,
Yes, 'cause
okay,
each board
that's
member
what
is
I, that's
entitled
what
to
I was
one.
thinking.
Yes.
Okay. So we're calling a vote for, the nominee Cameron Seeley.
Right.
Okay, go ahead, Cam.
Nay.
Peggy. Arnie.
Nay.
Mike.
Aye.
Becca. Oh, Liz. Sorry, Liz.
Nay.
Nay.
All right. Okay, so the votes have been tallied, and the ayes for Arnie Richlicki are 5, nays 2. Votes for Cameron Seeley, ayes are 2, nays are 5. Therefore, Arnie Richlicki is elected to Vice President of the Board of Education for 2026-2027. Okay? At this time, I will administer your oath of office.
Can I have a cheat sheet?
I got your cheat sheet, but I didn't know who would need it yet.
Been a long day.
Thank you for the nomination,
Thank you.
Michael.
You betcha.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay.
I'll get my feet wet first.
Oh, yeah. Yes, Cameron, you'll have your
And then
chance,
we're
don't
gonna
worry.
sign,
You might not want it.
we're gonna sign. Oops, wrong one. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, you're going to raise your right hand.
Sherry, please do these two separately.
Yes, we're gonna do president first.
Thank you.
Okay, I, Liz Dow,
Elizabeth Dow, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of President according to the best of my abilities.
And Ms. Richlicki? I
I do solemnly swear,
State your name.
state your name.
I'm
I
sorry.
state your name,
doesn't
sorry.
say it. I, Arnold S. Richlicki, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Vice President according to the best of my ability.
Great, thank you. How do you guys? Thank you so much.
We gotta do both of them.
I think this is your copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just take
There
one.
you go.
You can keep her. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Do you want me to do those two motions, or do you?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, so, be it resolved that Elizabeth Dahl be elected as the president of the Board of Education for the 2026-2027 school year. May I have a motion?
I'll make it.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? Vote. We do the vote.
Just do it all in
Yeah,
favor. since
call
we-
for all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Any opposed?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't see. Any opposed? Okay. That's unanimous, motion is carried. Okay, be it resolved, number 2, Vice President, be it resolved that Arnie Richilke be elected as the Vice President of the Board of Education for the 2026-2027 school year. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second.
Second, Peggy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion is carried. Okay, at this time, I turn the meeting over to our board president, Elizabeth Dahl.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Another year in this seat is a privilege. I appreciate everyone that supported me. As I have said before, and I will say again, if there's feedback for me that I can do this job better or be a better board president for all of you, direct feedback to me would be appreciated so I can improve for everybody. I think every year I've sat in the seat, I've gotten a little better, and that's all I can attain to do. I'm gonna start off the meeting reviewing our board norms that we created, I'd say a little over a year and a half, 2 years ago, and just reviewing them. I put them in front of me for every meeting, and I know we've all gotten laminated copies, so I suggest everybody do that, but I'm gonna review them. There's 5. Respectful. We are committed to listening and asking questions to inform our decision-making. United. We will honor every voice and speak with one. Inclusive. We will ensure that all board members have the information necessary for good decision-making. Intentional. We will acknowledge all measures of success across our school community. On mission. Students will be the first in our decision-making. I think when we developed these, it kept all of us in line with what we're here to do and what's important for the students and everyone in our district.
Could we get fresh copies of those? Because I don't know if we ever got our own copy. If we could get them for our next meeting.
Absolutely, I don't think that's a problem. Sherry, will you make more for the board? I know we had them, but they probably just got.
They were set out for a while.
Actually, I have a bunch laminated, so.
Sort of in the
Yeah.
bottom of the drawers and
Thank you for that reminder. I thought everybody just still had them. But yes, absolutely, Liz.
Thanks.
We're gonna move to consent agenda. Consent agenda 1 through 10, this is number 1, minutes of meeting June 9th, 2026. 2, general fund warrants. 3, school lunch fund warrant. 4, capital fund warrant. 5, federal fund warrant. 6 budget transfers for June, 7 appropriation and revenue status report for June, 8 district treasurer's report, May and June, 9 extra classroom treasurer's report for May, and 10 CSE. Are there any items on the consent agenda a board member wishes to remove? I had some outreach before the meeting that there was some wish for that.
Is there, because I know there was a check I received for reimbursement, so could we split that off, because it seems kind of weird for me to approve
What
that?
check number was it?
I don't know, it's sitting on the dining room table.
Would it be under number 2, general fund warrants?
It was reimbursement.
I would imagine it would be under there. Okay. Is there anything else anybody else wants removed from the consent agenda?
I'd like to just raise concern that I feel like some of the items included in the checks we wrote in the warrants may toe the line on acceptable expenses.
So
but-
for consent agenda, as we've discussed, there's actually no discussion. I'm happy to put it to the side for discussion. So that's why I'm asking, do you want to put something to the side for discussion outside our consent agenda?
Liz, which section would that be?
The ones that you mentioned were
Alright.
under general fund warrants, number 2.
Okay. Could we set number 2 aside? please?
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. And then we will have a discussion and you'll have the opportunity to express your concerns.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna do consent agenda 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make, oh, go ahead.
I'll make it.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. I'm gonna put warrant, general fund warrant to number 34. That is new business number 34. I think that's what I saw. And we will put it there to discuss. It's at the very end of the meeting. That's as soon as we can discuss it. All right?
Yeah, thank you.
Also, before I get going here, I may use Arnie as a backup reader. There's a lot of reading, so just bear with me. But I'll do it as long as I can.
Yep, just tell me when.
Yep, thank you, Arnie. Reorganization appointments, officer appointments. Resolved that the Board of Education appoint the following officers as listed for 1 year effective immediately. Clerk of the Board, Sherry Murdock. District Treasurer, Desiree Lyman. Tax Collector, Sherry Murdock. General Counsel, Bond Shonak and King. Bond Counsel, Bond Shonak and King. Insurance Advisor, Tompkins Insurance. Census Enumerator, none. District External Auditor, Mengel, Metzger, and Barr. Single Audit, Mengel, Metzger, and Barr. Extra Classroom Activity Account Auditor, Mengel, Metzger, and Barr. Records Management, Sherry Murdock. Records Access Officer, Brennan Colwell. Ahira LEA Designee, John Walther. Chemical Hygiene, Spencer Flynn. Title V Compliance Officer, Rebecca Chanel. Genesee Valley Healthcare Plan, Rebecca Chanel. Section 504 ADA Compliance Officer, Megan Rogers. GLSW Workers' Compensation Board, Brennan Colwell. Internal Claims Auditor, Barbara Burns. Community Education Program Coordinator, Molly Mart. Liaison for Homeless Children and Youth, Anna Lena. District Physician, Student Services, Northern Star Medical. Employee Services, Northern Star Mobile Health. Dignity for All Coordinator, Elementary School, Michelle Meyer. Dignity for All Coordinator, Middle High School, Megan Marcello. Designee for Residency Determination, Rebecca Chanel. Child Nutrition Program, Reviewing Official TBD. Child Nutrition Program, Hearing Official, Board President. Child Nutrition Program, Verification Official, TBD. Child Nutrition Program, Confirming Official, Rebecca Chanel. Education Official, Rebecca Chanel. Extra Classroom Activities Account, Susan Mills. ESSA Funded Programs Coordinator, Brendan Colwell. Negligent Delinquent Transition Liaison, Megan Rogers. Foster Care Student Point of Contact, Anna Lena. Migrant Student Data Point of Contact, Ron Harrington. Data Protection Officer, Lindsay P. Attendance Officer, Katie Hillman. Financial Advisor, Vernon P. Donegan. Chief Emergency Officer, Rebecca Chanel. Workers' Comp Plan Board of Directors, Brian Colwell. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
A second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Next, we are going to administer the oath of office to our superintendent of schools, our district clerk, our treasurer, and our tax collector. Mrs. Murdock.
Everyone has their cheat sheets. You're doing it? I can't do myself.
Okay.
Yes, you going first? Yeah, you have to
Yep.
be first, and I'll do everybody else.
Absolutely.
I, Sherry Murdock, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office of district clerk according to the best of my ability.
Thank you. You sign that, Sherry, I'll sign the other one. Thank you.
Okay, next is Superintendent of Schools.
I, Rebecca Chanel, do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of superintendent according to the best of my ability.
Okay, I, say your name.
I, Desiree Lyman, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of treasurer according to the best of my ability.
And then Sherry's also the tax collector. You have to swear in there too. It'll be-
I, Sherry Murdock, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of tax collector according to the best of my ability.
So I'll sign that.
Lizzie, you all set? Thank you.
Okay, you have that. We're gonna move on to number 3, designations. Resolved that the Board of Education make the designations as listed for 1 year effective immediately. Official bank depositories, Bank of Castile, Five Star Bank, and M&T Bank. Official bank signatories, Desiree Lyman and Brennan Colwell. Regulatory monthly meetings, second Tuesday of each month to start at 6 p.m. unless otherwise posted. Official newspaper, Livingston County News. Health Instruction Coordinator, Jennifer Newsbickle. Integrated Pest Management Coordinator, John Walter. Referral to Committee on Special Education, Megan Rogers, Abigail Monroe. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Liz, second Peggy. Any discussion?
I just have a question, and sorry, I didn't notice this earlier. Bank of Castile has gone through transitions and changing their name. Should we update the
you're right.
name? They're now Tompkins, and now
Tompkins.
they're moving actually away from Tompkins, like Tompkins something else.
Tompkins Financial.
It might be
or something
Tompkins
like that.
Financial. So,
We
it's
could-
the same.
Our intent is for Tompkins Financial, Bank of
Correct.
Castile. Yes, okay. I think
Well,
just
make the change right now, like go ahead and just cross that
Yeah,
out
it
on
has-
your form and make the change before we vote.
It hasn't been Bank of Castile for a while.
Right, so it's Tompkins, right now it's Tompkins.
Okay, so Tompkins Bank.
Tompkins Bank.
Sounds good, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 4, bonding of school district employees. Pursuant to law and commissioners' regulations, the Board of Education will bond the following personnel handling district funds. Business administrator, Brennan Colwell. Payroll clerk, Desiree Lyman. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Authorizations, number 5, resolved that the Board of Education endorse the authorizations listed for 1 year effective immediately. Establish petty cash funds, elementary office, to be determined. Middle high school office, Susan Mills. Elementary cafeteria, to be determined, cook manager. Middle high school cafeteria, Lindsay McKay, cook manager. Admissions fund, Susan Mills. Approval of budget transfer not to exceed $100,000, Rebecca Chanel. Approved conferences and workshops, Rebecca Chanel. Approved field trips per policy number 8460, including all BOCES field trips, Rebecca Chanel. Fund transfers, Brennan Colwell and Rebecca Chanel. Revenue anticipation notes, Brennan Colwell. Signed federal and state documents, Rebecca Chanel and Brennan Colwell. Payment of approved contractual expenses, Brennan Colwell. Hiring other legal counsel as necessary, Rebecca Chanel. Establish mileage reimbursement at the IRS rate. That would be you, Rebecca Chanel.
Yes. Actually, that's.
Brennan?
It just is, and you're just establishing it.
At the IRS
Yeah.
rate, got it. Establish meal, lodging, and incidentals at the GSA rate. Annual adoption of policy 5410, purchasing. Annual adoption of policy 5220, district investments. Grants and aid applications, Rebecca Chanel. Signed checks in absence of treasurer, Brennan Colwell. Purchasing agent, Brennan Colwell. Payroll certification, Rebecca Chanel. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second.
Motion by Mike, second by Dr. McNair, and any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 6, affiliations. Resolved that the Board of Education authorizes joining each organization listed for 1 year, effective immediately, and directs the business administrator to pay dues to each organization. Number 1 is New York State School Board Association, and number 2 is Genesee Valley School Board Association. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Peggy, second?
Second.
Second. Becca, discussion?
Do you feel like we're getting good value from both?
I do, yes. Any other,
Yeah, I do. I've used a few of the online tools this year, and I really have enjoyed them.
I talked
Found
to.
them informational.
Yeah, you were telling me you did a lunch and learn.
I've done a few
Yeah.
of those.
There's also a series for new board members that I've talked to Cam about that I think could be very helpful. And it's the first year they're rolling it out. Next year, they plan to roll it out to the whole board, so everyone can be involved and see what new board members are learning. Because I think, as time goes on, you forget what you learned in your new board member trainings. I have some of it. So it could be helpful for everyone. I do think it's good money spent.
Is that the one where it had the, all the financial stuff?
Yep, there's 2
It
sections.
was very good.
Yep.
It really helped when we got to budget season.
Yep.
Mike, I sat through the first 6-hour training a couple Saturdays ago. It was phenomenal. I've got the other one this Saturday, and I really think that even if like Dr. Chanel could sit through that sometime, just seeing the other perspectives too. The business administrator from Perry ran a lot of that, so we got to see a lot of how other schools did stuff as well, all within the BOCES, so I think that one's well worth it.
And that one was run through Genesee Valley School Board
Yes,
Association. Yep. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Next is number 7, approval of cooperative bidding. Resolved that the Board of Education appoint Brennan Colwell as business administrator to participate in cooperative bidding for the 2026-2027 year effective July 1, 2026. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
I'll second.
Second, Becca. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Next, we're going to move to number 8, board committees. So in your backup notes, you can see who's been sitting on the committees that are there. One of the recommendations that Dr. Chanel is making this year is that we join combined audit and financial committee, which I think is a good suggestion. I think that they do a lot of overlap. Is there any opposition or concern about that? Is everybody okay with that?
So if we have like 5 people, between the 2 committees, if we have 5 independent board members, all we would have to do to facilitate combining those would be publicly announce the meeting.
Which we do anyways, so when we're meeting for those, I have been doing public
Yeah.
notices for them so that folks can come. Committee will be, this particular committee, when you're adopting, you do need 3 representatives on this one. So it's the committee that needs the most. But to explain a little bit, like when we are talking about whether it be long-term financial planning or auditing, what you're finding is I'm bringing our teams together to help give advice anyways. So it would be nice if we were understanding how the long-term financial health of the district and what our auditor's recommendations are on that end, kind of coupling those 2 things, similar to that meeting that we had, right? So that we start to think not in silos around the finances of the district, but in our entire health.
That meeting we had was one of the most interesting I've sat in on, and I think it would be, I mean, for community members who are interested, not that
Oh,
we
sure.
have to video record it, but it's a good meeting.
You're talking about the audit?
No, the one where we met with the financial
Yes.
planning, where John and I, like, that
Yes.
was a good meeting.
And I did run that through the audit committee. We also have the financial planning committee. But when you start to think about things like the BOCES capital project, like it almost, you start to see where you're siloing some of that decision-making, or certain board members are reporting out here to others, only knowing half of the story. Where if we put it together, you're really starting to look at the district and long-range financial plan, which is my goal for us moving forward.
Like that.
Right, so if we're gonna do that, then, we'll take off M, which is financial planning, and just do board audit and financial planning together as G. Another observation I'll make before we go to, everybody telling me what committees they wanna be on, is that there's 3 committees that the same members have sat on for 2 consecutive years. And my only recommendation, if possible, is that we get some new members on that committee and those committees. That would be the middle school compact committee, although I appreciate, you're both parents of middle schoolers, I get why you wanna be there, if you wanna continue to be there, it's not a huge deal, but
Continuity is important, though.
from what I've read is sometimes change is important too. So there's the middle school athletic code and textbook committee, so just something to think about. Obviously, we're at the mercy of the board and sort of who's able to do it. Some of these meetings are, at times that people can't do. So we'll just go through and do our best at assigning. Sherry, are you ready to take notes? Who is interested in elementary compact?
Well, I've been on it this past year, and I'm very happy to be on it. I have my conflict, that meets every month,
Yes.
same time, and so I come for the first half an hour.
Which works out.
Which usually works out, and I'm happy to continue that.
Okay, thank you, Peggy. Anyone else? I'm okay having one person on that. If you need someone in your absence, just
Okay.
let me know and I can be your standby.
I'll
Sure.
alternate with
Oh,
Peggy.
perfect. Love it, Arnie, thank you.
But can we get dates for these meetings sooner than later, just so we can plan ahead? Because some of them are, always the first Thursday or the second Tuesday or at whatever time of day, just so we.
Lucky for us, our administrators are in the room, they're hearing all of this,
Awesome.
and they will.
They will set their dates soon. We'll do
Perfect.
our retreat here in just a couple of weeks and get ourselves mapped out for the year, and then I will make sure that you all get the meeting
Certainly
dates.
makes it very easy for board members if we have that somewhat in advance. I understand sometimes we have to do that last minute, like we do the best we can. but
Some of
yes.
them are certainly more last minute than others.
Yeah.
Like,
But-
as needed, I should
Yes,
say.
administrators, please, as best you can, support us in that so we can sit on your important meetings. Middle high school compact.
I would be happy to go on that again, or for the first time, I have a grandson who will be senior.
Okay.
I would very much like to continue on that one.
Okay. Becca, are you okay stepping away from that?
I guess I'm okay. I really would like to continue on that because that is one of the ones that I enjoy.
Why don't you?
But I can step away.
Can we have 3?
No.
Why not?
Could she be?
I mean, we could, but with.
Actually, that one you can have more, only
it's
because you
open.
have more members of the public than the board. So let me fact check myself on that and
So-
confirm, but go ahead and put.
It's a 50%, so
Yeah,
if
I
the board
think
is
so.
50% of the
I agree.
people there.
But you would
got-
run the risk if you're the only ones that show up for the meeting, and all three of you were there with the principal, now you can't. So we would have to
Right.
talk about the logistics of that.
Three's not a quorum.
But you have to have more public than
Then,
board
okay,
members.
yes, thank you.
Yes.
So this is
And
what
so
we'll do.
sometimes there aren't.
Sometimes
Three
there's
other-
only
This is
one
what
of
we'll
us.
do.
Yeah, sometimes
total.
you
It's
might
just-
be the ones that
Yeah.
show, right, and we're moving all the work, so I would wanna be careful that we know the rules of that, and that you guys are communicating in advance around maybe who is
I could
going.
also just be the alternative.
I was gonna say, we
That's
can
what I was
alternate
thinking.
months.
Perfect.
Why don't we
Perfect.
do?
I'm very
That's
happy.
exactly what I was thinking, thank
Yeah.
you, Peggy. We'll do you two, you stay on it. Peggy will be out unless Dr. Chanel figures out that we can have three, and then we just have to,
We just have to make sure.
we're
You know,
not.
The
Three,
first
there's enough-
meeting, you can all go,
Yes.
there'll be like 20 people. By the time you get to May.
There's three of us.
There's three of us.
Five.
Alternate.
All right, thank you,
We
Peggy.
appreciate your
No,
commitment.
that's just fine.
Do you got that, Sherry?
I do.
Yes, thank you. Technology Committee.
I was just talking to Lindsay. I'm very happy to come on. I'm not the best tech person, but it's interesting.
I'm happy to stay, but if someone else wants it, by all means.
Liz, when's that meeting?
Kim, was that, did you see, I sent,
I don't know that I saw it.
hang on.
Technology committee meetings are usually an after-school meeting because teachers are there with us. I would say like 3:30 start
It says 3:30.
It's
Is it
what, 3 or 4 times
Is
a
that
year?
once a month or quarterly?
quarterly.
I can take that one.
Okay. Fantastic.
It wasn't one of the ones I sent you, but I can take that.
Okay,
That's fine.
so that's gonna be Peggy and Cameron, was there?
No, Peggy doesn't want that one, right? Peggy said no, thank you nicely. This teacher can.
I'm trying to find my strengths.
Peggy, you have several. Being in the room is your strength.
Thank
Your
you.
smile and your thoughtfulness, thank you.
Genesee Valley School Board's rep and alternate, that will be myself and Arnie.
Yep.
Legislative liaison,
Mm-hmm.
Arnie, yeah, you're good with that?
Just Arnie?
Someone else can do it, if there's, sometimes there's a legislative thing that
So
if
I
someone.
can be alternate or I can join Arnie.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Negotiations, I don't think that that's gonna be a big one this coming year, but.
Let me sign up for that.
I'm willing to stay on that, especially if we're not doing it.
Okay. Board audit,
I would like to be, participate in that committee.
in financial committee, we need 3 members. So Mike,
And these, so, are these all evening meetings for the audit and finance typically?
We try to do it at a time we can mutually agree upon. So I wouldn't say it's all evening, but we would be communicating and saying, hey, this is a meeting we want to put together. Brennan usually reaches out and says, how about this day, what about this time? So it's usually a mutually agreed upon.
It's very flexible. It's worked well.
I can,
you have a desire?
I can do it.
Liz, that was one of the ones that I
You're on
did.
it.
Facilities is a little bit higher priority, but if you'd like a third on that, well, we need a third, but.
You can, it'll be Mike, Becca, and Cam. Facilities,
Again, I'd like to
Cameron's
take
the
that
only-
one.
I'd like to be on that, please. Board Policy Committee,
Yep.
Arnie,
I like that committee if I could stay on it. I know I've been there for a minute.
is there anyone else who wants to be on it?
If you need an alternate, I'm happy to be an alternate.
All right, Mike and Arnie. Athletic Code Committee, I'm sorry, thank you, Dr. Chanel. Shared Services,
I do shared services.
I was on it, I'd like to step away from it. You were interested in that.
I can take it if nobody else will.
Does anybody else want shared services?
Becca and Cam.
This is how we function too. Just doing that.
All right, so it'll be Becca and Cam. Then we go athletic code committee. That's an early meeting. Mr. McCardle likes to get up early.
I can do athletic code.
Okay.
I like that.
Becca,
I can stay on.
you want to stay on it?
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Genesee Valley Board President Rep, that'll be me. Financial planning obviously went up to G, and we have our final one, which is textbook committee.
I'm happy to stay on that unless
Okay.
anybody else
We can stay on
would
that
like to
too.
take it.
Okay. Sherry, could you do a read-through of those?
Yes, that'd be great. Okay, we have elementary compact, Peggy continuing, and Arnie will alternate with Peggy. Middle high school compact, Peggy will be joining, Liz Dietrich, and Becca McNair
As an alternate,
as an alternate.
and then I'll look into that for you, just to bring clarity to it.
Oh, I have that, I
Okay.
have, Peggy will be the alternate, yes. Technology committee, Cam and Liz Dietrich. Genesee Valley School Board's rep and alternate, Liz Dahl and Arnie. Legislative, Arnie and Becca, Dr. McNair. Negotiations, Mike and Becca. Board audit and financial planning, Mike, Becca, Cam. Facilities, Cam and Liz Dahl. Board policy, Arnie, Mike, and then Liz Dietrich did offer to be an alternate.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Shared services, Becca and Cam. Athletic code, Becca and Mike. Genesee Valley Board President Representative, Liz Dahl. And textbook committee, Liz Dietrich, Peggy Roll. Do we match?
Yeah, that looks good. May I have a motion for those committee appointments, please?
I'll make the motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Does everybody feel that their wants and desires are represented, it's fair? No? No complaints, that's good. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried.
All right, I'll start. You want me to start with number 9?
Yeah, sure.
Give you a break.
Thank you, Arnie.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Building use fees. Resolved that the Board of Education, per Board Policy 3280, establish building use fees at $40 per hour for the 2026-2027 school year. Motion?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Who, just for clarity, who pays for building use versus are there organizations who do not pay for building use?
So
Can't.
typically, we don't charge organizations that are within our community and a part of us, but if we were to get, let's say, a building use request from a dance company out of Rochester, and they want to use our auditorium, we don't want them running our soundboard and our lights, it just creates havoc for us, so we tend to bill in places where we know we want to add support.
Okay, so like
Yeah,
if
to
scouts
keep
want
us-
to use it or?
Yeah, we
Okay.
don't charge any of our local folks.
Thank you.
Great.
You're welcome. They have to have the proper insurance and go through a building use request and all of that, but we don't charge them by the hour.
Thank you.
Very good.
Before we move on, in terms of that discussion, I will also just note that we put it on the parking lot for this summer to talk about building use. We did have a couple of times this past year where we were concerned about the number of members of our community that were on our campus all at one time, and that maybe we should examine that if we think that we're gonna have 800 people here, right, that maybe we do want to charge to staff for parking, for cleaning. We had some, I would say as a board, you all got some feedback, as did I, as superintendent. So I have asked Mr. McCardle, we're gonna take a look at that, or when might that happen to us, and if it's happening, should we start looking at, before we approve, saying, whoa, that looks like you're gonna have a lot of folks on our campus, we're gonna require that you also pay for an SRO, you're gonna have a lot of folks on our campus, somebody has to park. And we'll bring some recommendations back to the board after we've had an opportunity to really examine that. Questions?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you have latitude to make those choices even
We
with
do.
this.
We do.
Okay.
We do. So the caveat there of, if it's a really large group, we have some concerns, and so we might change that practice, but we would not do that without having that conversation with you all in public.
Has it been in the practice that when they have those great big track meets and stuff like that, that
Those are,
somebody's paying
those are
for-
school events, so
Okay.
when they're athletic events, we actually, those are ours, and so
Okay.
we are paying to staff those. The
Okay.
difference is that like, let's say that youth basketball, an organization that's not
Ah,
part of us
yes,
wants
right.
to use our campus, we
Right.
don't charge. But then we seem to get a little bit of fallout, or let's call it feedback, when certain things that people have grown accustomed to in their experience here, they're not experiencing that when they come. So yes, it will happen for our athletic events or our events, but not necessarily when it's organizations outside of us. I think that was the sentiment of the board in some of what happened this past year in terms of feedback, phone calls you all got. I think we got a text message from Arnie, right? So people were concerned about getting ticketed if they parked in the grass. Like if we don't have folks here parking and then somebody parks in the grass and they get a ticket. So we need to work through a little bit of the logistics of that with outside organizations. But when it's our own personal event, we are staffing and that is paid for out of our budget.
When do you make a call to the police to direct traffic at the end of musicals and stuff like that? Do you or
We
don't you?
usually, if we know we have a big event that's occurring, we usually are in communication with the local law enforcement that, you know, we have a big football game, it's gonna let out about this time, and then we don't necessarily pay for that, but they're on duty and they know that we're
Okay.
gonna need support, so
That's-
they'll come.
yeah.
But there is a lot of coordination when it's our own event that we're hosting, that we are doing a lot of coordination with local folks.
Very good, good discussion. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And carried. All right, number 10, substitute rates and stipend rates for positions appointed annually. Resolved that the Board of Education establish the following substitute rates and stipend rates for annually appointed positions for the 2026-2027 school year as attached. Motion,
I'll make it.
second,
Second?
discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 11, Committee on Special Education. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the recommended membership to the Committee on Special Education for 2026-2027 school year as follows. Chairperson, Megan Rogers. Alternate chairperson, Abigail Monroe. School psychologist, Abigail Monroe. Child's general education teacher will vary. Let's see, the child's special education teacher, which also varies. School physician, district medical director is appointed by the Board of Education. Parent representative or representatives, Shannon Drizkowski, Jamie Littleton, Ben Griffin. Parent of the child, student with a disability whenever appropriate and or when considering post-secondary goals or transition services. And at the discretion of the parent or the agency, other individuals who have knowledge or special expertise regarding the child, including related services personnel as appropriate, like speech and language therapists, occupational and physical therapists. Motion for number 11.
I'll make that.
Mike, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 12, Subcommittee on Special Education. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve their recommended membership to the Subcommittee on Special Education for 2026-2027 school year as follows. Chairperson, Megan Rogers. Alternate chairperson, Abigail Monroe. School psychologist, Abigail Monroe. Child's general education teacher, as well as a special education teacher varies. Parent of the child, student with a disability, and at the discretion of the parent or agency, other individuals who have knowledge or special expertise regarding the child, including related services personnel, as appropriate. Make the motion.
I'll make it.
Mike, second.
Second.
Cam. All in favor, I'm sorry, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 13, Committee on Preschool Special Education. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the recommended membership to the Committee on Preschool Special Education for the 2026-2027 school year as follows. Chairperson Megan Rogers, alternate chairperson Abigail Monroe. County representative is appointed by the county. A general education teacher, which varies. And the child special education teacher, provider varies. Parent representative to be determined, parent of the child, and early intervention coordinator, appointed by the county. Motion,
I'll make it.
second.
Second.
All, discussion?
How are those, children, first noted, or if they're just starting preschool, is it the teacher then going to say, I think we need to have a special meeting, or have they?
Sometimes for preschool special education, sometimes it's the family that's noticing a delay. Sometimes it's their physician, their family doctor, the pediatrician might tell the parent to make recommendations. So recommendations can come through all sorts of folks that are part of a child's life
And
for
so then
preschool
they would ask somebody for a meeting so that we can get something
They
moving?
do. So Megan Rogers is our director of PPS, and
Right.
Megan is here. Megan, do you want to talk a little bit about how Committee on Special Education works for preschool-aged kids?
Sure, yeah.
Thank you.
From right here is fine.
You can stand up. We want your voice to be caught on the microphone, so.
So just exactly what Dr. Chanel said, the referrals can come from a lot of different places. The family themselves, if they're in a daycare or preschool program, they might alert the family to, that there's concerns, physician. And then it's a collaboration between the school and the county. The county does the funding and the school approves the services. So a county representative joins me at the meeting. We meet after an evaluation that's done through an approved evaluator. That's all done through the county. The county maintains lists of who the student is able to be evaluated through. We help make all those arrangements as the district. We help with the logistics of that and getting the family hooked up, scheduled, and then we host the meeting here, make recommendations. The county approves any recommendations that we as a district help the family navigate through. County pays for that services, and then we maintain managing the services and making sure the student is getting what was recommended.
Is this, are any of these started like with, is there screening before they even start the first day of school?
For preschool, yes,
Sure.
but the Committee on Preschool Special Education is 3 to 5 years old, so it's not necessarily
Oh,
UPK like what we think of.
okay, that's what I was thinking of.
So some students transition from early intervention, which happens birth to 2.
Okay.
And if they're gonna need ongoing support, their early intervention coordinator might refer. And then service, anything that they need once they hit the age of 3 is managed by the county and the district.
Huh. Okay, thank you.
Very good. All right, all in favor of number 13?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I'll take over, Ernie, thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Number 14, establish standard workday for ERS. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, hereby establishes a standard workdays for its employees and will report days worked to the New York State and local employees' retirement system based on timekeeping system or the record of activities maintained and submitted by these members to the clerk of this body. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is carried. Number 15, authorization to hire employees pending board approval. Whereas the appointment of employees and the approval of volunteers is within the authority of this board, and whereas employee appointments and volunteer approvals generally begin after the date of board action, and whereas there are circumstances in which it is advantageous and proper that employees and volunteers begin prior to the date of board action, now therefore be it resolved that this board delegates to the superintendent or designee the authority to appoint employees and to approve volunteers effective on a date prior to board action, provided, however, that such employees and volunteers are placed on the board agenda for the following board meeting. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 16, authorization for business matters in between board meetings. Authorize the superintendent or designee to approve and sign routine and/or time-sensitive contracts that require action between board meetings. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Number 17, authorization for other business office functions in between board meetings. Authorize the superintendent or designee to certify payroll, make transfers of money between and within functional unit appropriations, to approve conferences for all employees, and to approve applications for grants. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion is carried. We are going to move to communications. We are going to start with correspondence and points of pride.
Okay, sorry, I had to find it. Okay, even though summer has just begun, teachers are already looking ahead. Right now, our campus is buzzing with teachers collaborating, refining curriculum, and learning together to make the next school year our best one yet. We truly have the best teaching staff in the business, and their dedication is unmatched.
The middle high school wrapped up the 25-26 school year with several celebrations, including a middle school award ceremony and field day, and a high school award ceremony. Congratulations to all of our Raiders on wrapping up a successful year.
On Friday, June 26th, we celebrated our 127th commencement ceremony. The Caledonia Mumford class of 2026 celebrated a beautiful evening at Hamilton Sports Complex. All 68 graduates received their diplomas. Community donors invested in the Raiders through scholarships and awards. We are so proud of our class of 2026, and it was a lovely evening.
It's a very nice night. I'd like to welcome Cameron Seeley to his 3-year term. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Also like to welcome Gianna Pelletier, also goes by Gigi. She is currently a junior with us at CalMum and will be serving likely a 2-year term with us, which is exciting. Dr. Chanel and I met with her last week and reviewed this big board agenda and tried to make sense of it for her. Dr. McNear is going to mentor, help her as she is following along here, and we're excited to have her here. Can I brag about you a little?
I mean, I guess.
And getting to know Deanna a little bit, you play volleyball, so that will be a fall sport that you're engaging in. You also are very big into dance, like that is something that you do a lot of. So I'm excited to have her on our team. Reminder that we are meeting August 13th for our board workshop. Dr. Chanel and I have secured Mr. Ron Mendrick to provide professional development at that workshop. That is from 5 to 8 p.m. We are starting promptly at 5 o'clock. I will be sending out an email soon for a dish to pass so we can eat. Ron is going to start with doing some professional development while we eat, and then and it's going to focus around open meeting law, board roles, communication with superintendent, best practices. It is a closed meeting because we will not be doing board business, so it'll just be the board. I want to have a follow-up to that meeting to do board business and talk about sort of the goals for the board for the upcoming year. And I'm going to propose that we do that September 22nd. As you see in our meeting list that we approved, we do not have a second meeting in September, so I'm proposing we do that September 22nd between 6 and 8. So if
That's a
people-
Tuesday?
Yes, it is. If people could put that on their calendars, similar to what we did last year when we came up with our board goals, it'll include that and a follow-up to sort of the professional development we discussed.
6 to 8, you said?
Yeah,
Ish?
yes, 6 to 8-ish, yes.
Thank you.
I'm trying to keep it along with the same time as the board meeting. It's not our standard of practice to do this, but other boards do engage in like one meeting a month and one like workshop, right? And so that's something I'd like to talk about with the board. Us starting to go on that route. We're often at the table, and I think some of us miss that interaction and conversation amongst us about like what directions we're going and why and how that's happening. So, something I'd like to.
Are those
look at.
workshops filmed, or would that be between ourselves?
So, great question. When we do our workshop with Ron, that is gonna be closed. That's a professional development. We will not be engaging in board business.
Okay.
So we're allowed to do that. I consulted with Sarah. Ron Mendrick's also a lawyer and knows the importance of not operating outside of
Sure.
our rights or legal rights. So everyone's been consulted. Dr. Chanel, do you want to add anything? Am I missing anything?
I don't think so. I think it's just in the end, the second meeting, right, when the board is gonna set goals, and if you decide from that professional development session that we're gonna begin to talk about some changes in our practice, the way we currently do business, that should then be open to the public,
Yes. Okay.
right? You're teaching and training and making sure that you're learning the legalisms and the things that are specific to the district, that we understand what we're doing and why we're doing it, and then in that next session, when we go to the public view, that we would be ready to make some decisions
So
then.
the September 22nd would be open
Okay.
in film.
Probably not, do you think filmed? We have not been filming our workshops, and we will do what is at the board's pleasure, but I do think in terms of the way in which workshop occurs, you're really trying to encourage open lines of communication, and I think being on camera can somewhat be prohibitive to, not that you're not doing the district's business, it feels a little different. We haven't been workshopping, so maybe the first few times we try to do it to learn how to really be collaborative with one another and talk through some things, and when we get good at it, maybe then we say, let's record that and put it out for the world to see.
But people
Just my
could,
advice.
people could sit.
People could come, absolutely.
Yes, it'll be
Absolutely.
advertised.
It would be posted for
Yep.
folks to join us.
So that's the plan, please mark that on your calendars. Is there anything else that I'm missing? I'm sorry, guys, this is a huge agenda, and I've spent about a week reviewing and trying to prep as best I can. So if I'm missing something, it's not on purpose. Am I missing anything? Okay. I'm gonna move towards board committee reports. I know policy met right before this meeting.
Go ahead, Mike. Your turn.
Sure. We had Dr. Chanel and Megan Rogers presented to Arnie and myself. There is a change in the due process language, legal language, just for special education. That's what it is, right? For appointing impartial hearing officers for special education. So, good meeting. Nothing substantial, just a clarification in the legal language.
Thank you. Any other committees that have met? It's been a little quiet, summertime. Okay, we're gonna move to guest of board. We are going to invite Campus Construction and Hunt Engineers to the podium to present and give us an update on our capital project.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Congrats to Mr. Sealy for your election and
Thank you.
Delphi for election. Just want to take about 5 minutes, give you guys an update. It's been a little bit since we were here, just to give you an update on how things are going. as we enter our second and final summer. Want to let you know how we're doing and what's going on and what we're going to be doing to finish things up. There we go. We're gonna start with our financial update. We're gonna go through some photos. We'll touch on the schedule at the end. So this is our budget summary. As you can see, we've gone over this a few times, but just really quickly, if you look down about just more than halfway in the green box, you'll see that so far over the life of this project, we've executed just over $1.8 million in change orders, with potential change orders of $324,000 on the books right now. That's what is included in our issue log that we estimate against to protect the project from overspending before they become change orders. That leaves us with a usable budget of $96,700 that we are going into the summer to utilize for change orders to get us through the rest of this project. Given the point that we are in this schedule right now, our demolition has been completed. The last remaining uncovered area right now would be the phase 2 roofing on the high school over the kitchen. So we feel very comfortable with this number going forward through the summer that we're looking good financially and hopefully are able to maybe capture a little bit more work before this project is done. Okay. Sorry, I forgot the button. There we go. So jumping into some of our progress before we get to our remaining schedule, our phase 2 windows, those are underway. The windows are almost fully installed. There's one window left to install, and we're using that window right now for material access up onto the second floor for the library. There's also the phase 1 windows also still need to be installed within the library. That window was being used for taking trash out of the building during the school year. But you can see a photo of the front courtyard. This faces the elementary loop. And what the exterior, the new windows are looking like. In this photo, it is minus the exterior trim that is being installed currently. And then a photo of the inside. This is the hallway just inside those windows at the far side end of the top photo in the hallway just outside the auditorium. Inside the auditorium, we replaced the ceilings in this space as well as the lights and added new lighting controls. This work is finished. We're waiting on one dimming control to install that's going to go up on the stage. Over in the library upstairs, as you can see from these photos, our drywall work and finishing is now complete. Our painter is now going to be mobilizing to the site to do our first coat of paint. We are also working on getting the last of our rooftop units, HVAC equipment set on the roofs. That's scheduled to happen next week. From there, we will make the connections down through the roof to the ductwork that you see that we already have installed in the space, waiting to make that connection out in the hallway right outside the new library entrance. In the next photo, you'll see a picture of that entrance. This is currently the door is removed. Those two lockers in the top photo will be removed as well. Those are going to become a couple of new display cases surrounded by some wood trim, and your new entry door will be installed right there. Down below, these are two new doorways that were created. And if you look back on the inside, I'm going to go back one photo. The bottom photo, towards the left, you can see an alcove. That is where a new movable glass partition is going to be able to stack up into. And going back to this photo, that piece of wall between those two doors, that's where that lines up. So the library and the STEAM space will be able to be separated by a glass partition. We are now back in the auditorium in the high school. We're jumping over to that building. We have the seats that were an issue for legroom have all been removed. Actually, we had to remove more of those rows just to make sure we can get the new layout to work from front to back. You can see down in the other photo is the tent we used for dust control to cut out. There were 3 electrical boxes in the floor that did need to be relocated, which was causing the issue with the seats lining up. So now we've got everything relayed out. We've got the boxes moved. Just today, the boxes got moved. So we're moving forward in this space. We're going to patch the floor up, recoat the floor, and then the seating vendors coming back in to reset all the seats so that they're all spaced properly. Down in the library, this week, the contractor is working on their punch list items in this space, but this is a couple of photos that I took earlier in the week when it was cleaned up for an event, that training event that the district was using. The top two photos are looking either way within the library space, and then down below, looking into the new entrepreneur studio. Over in the high school main office, we're looking pretty good in this space. Like I said, we're gonna be, not only do we have to set the rooftop unit for the elementary library, but next week we'll also be lifting the heat pump and curbing for the rooftop equipment that serves this area. We are roughed in all the way up to the roof right now, just awaiting setting the new equipment on the roof to make those connections. This space is, like I said, looking pretty good. We have one more window and a piece of countertop to install before we do and those doors you can see in the photo or pallet on the floor. We'll install those doors and hardware, get the space cleaned up, do a final punch list walk through that space. Down in the basement, these are the 5 new boilers that were installed as in addition to the project. These boilers are installed. They are measured for materials for the vent piping that go through the roof. New pumps are installed. We're working on getting the electrical wiring hooked up so that we can get these things fired up here soon. And then most recently, pavers are back. They have milled the driveway and loop at the high school. There's a couple areas like this one. This is the driveway. This is the entryway off the driveway into the parking lot. This is a full depth reconstruction area. That's why you see us going down in gravel. Also, the drop off area of the loop right in front of the building is also getting the full depth treatment as well. The rest of the road has been milled down and will be retopped. Today, I don't have a photo of this because it just happened today, but the district office parking lot was also milled down. This was the result of some quality control issues that presented themselves with water not draining the way it should to the drain. So we did work with the contractor, got them back to mill this down, repave it, reslope the parking lot at no additional cost to the district. So looking forward, like I said, this is our second and final summer. Work is scheduled to wrap up by the beginning of the school year. So starting at the top, we're currently, like I said, working on the paving. We are on schedule right now. The milling was finished and we are awaiting paving, which should be starting up next week. The elementary library, we are, like I said, next week we are setting rooftop units, making our penetrations down to the roof to connect ductwork, and it's full steam ahead to start looking at putting flooring down. We're finishing up our above ceiling mechanicals, piping, stuff like that. You saw in the photo the ductwork is all done and insulated right now. So we're putting up ceilings, looking to put in millwork soon and get that space fitted out and looking finished. We're gonna probably be finishing up in the hallways, making our final connections to that rooftop unit on the roof. The elementary main office vestibule had punch list items that are being worked on currently. We are scheduled to turn that over back to the district at the end of this month. That work includes some terrazzo patching where some walls used to be located and where new doors were cut in. And also the installation of 2 more, I think, auto operator buttons, so the handicap buttons that you push to get in and out of the door into the new waiting room. Window replacements, phase 1, pretty much complete. Like I said, 1 more window to install in the library that we're using at the trash chute. Phase 2 windows, trim is being installed on the exterior and interior. The interior is farther ahead than the exterior, so that is going pretty smoothly right now. The elementary library scheduled to finish up by the beginning of the school year as well. So after that, we will be looking to turn over the high school library. We will have that space cleaned up by the end of this month, have the remaining items installed, get the punch list done, and be looking to turn that back over to the district. Our phase 2 wall repairs, those have just started. Demolition started this week on the wall above the band room hallway. We're removing the brick right now to repair those flashings to eliminate the leak in the hallway. Auditorium rework is ongoing. I just walked through that schedule with you guys. We're looking to wrap that up by mid-August. The boiler replacements around the same time, wrapping up around mid-August. That will align us with the roofers for phase 2. They will be here at the beginning of August to start the kitchen replacement. That will let them, they have to, some overlapping work with the brick replacement, so they'll be working together at that time as well. The hallways at the middle school, high school will go through the end of the project. This is inclusive of finishing up the display cases in the hallways, making sure that the tile is finished up. There are some things we're waiting on with trim around these display cases before tile can be finished, and then doing punch list items on everything. The high school main office we walked through, we're trying to get that buttoned up, cleaned up. We're waiting on one piece of countertop before we can finish up and get cleaned up in that space. And then the roof work for phase 2, that is starting up at the beginning of August and going through beginning of September. It would take roughly 4 weeks. All along now, we've already started our deficiency list and punch list in all the spaces. We have running lists that we are walking around on a daily basis now with, making sure that items are being taken care of, especially before they're finished up, so that we don't have to spend too much time going back and fixing things at the end. We'll be working on that all the way through October until we hit the gray area project closeout. That is when the work is done, maybe some miscellaneous punch list items, and that's when we're gathering all the paperwork together, closing out the financials, reporting back to the state that we're finished and how the project went. So that aid can start coming back to the district. And that's my quick update for you guys. It's crunch time. It's busy season, but we're full steam ahead. We're looking good right now. So if you guys have any questions for me, I can answer them.
Thank you.
Mike, I've got a couple if nobody else does.
Sure.
You answered most of them. Do you have any long lead items, particularly with like the library? Because I believe it was doors and countertops were the holdup for the main office turnover.
Correct.
Is there anything long lead item that's posing a problem now?
Right now, there's not, and those longer lead items that do include millwork, countertops, those kind of stuff, we're already in conversations with the GC. We know that it's being ordered. We are currently having conversations about last minute decisions for colors that get laminated on some of the millwork, and then it's getting shipped to us. So within the next, I would say by the beginning of August, I expect that we're gonna start seeing millwork show up here. It'll be around the time when we start putting flooring down.
Okay, and then with this getting remilled, and this might be for Dr. Schnell, was there any talk about changing this traffic flow, like cutting through this gravel area for the pickup line that ends up on the driveway every day?
No, in this project, we did not talk about traffic flow, so what you're seeing out there right now, and Mike can speak more to it, is just us basically rejecting this portion of what was included in the project. So all they're doing right now is milling what we've rejected to put back down to meet the quality of what we expect.
That gravel serves a drainage purpose.
Okay.
It's been studied in the past to try to pave it, but it's small, but it picks up some drainage.
There was a conversation earlier on in the project on if we should pave it and stripe it off for snow removal, but there was some sensitivity to also not wanting it to be used as a cut through for people jumping the curb.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
I am curious about the elementary library. So you are planning to hand that over before the beginning of school, but there's still time that we need to get into that. How long is it gonna take our staff to get that usable for our students?
Those are great questions. So basically, right now, what I'm saying back to these guys is once they have a closeout date for me, then I will start talking about a move-in date. So we might as well just assume that our students are gonna start in the temporary library. And once the library is handed over to us, then we will build a plan. It's a lot of moving parts, and that's a lot of pressure to put on a teacher, leaving for summer, to expect that somehow they return and put a classroom back in place in a matter of a couple of days. So I put a pin in that so that we are doing some collaborative decision-making with the teachers. We don't have undue stress at the start of the school year. But you should anticipate that that library will not be used on the first day of school.
Is there other space the capital project touches that won't be usable on the first day of school?
No, right now the library would be our, if we had a concern, that would be our biggest concern.
Okay.
That would be our, I'll call it our biggest push to finish right now.
Mike, when Cameron asked you about lead times, I know that we have been tracking these doors and windows to the corridors that are fire rated.
Mhm. So we're still waiting on fire rated assemblies for the high school vestibule and also for the vestibule in the main office. We've been told, original manufacturer that was, that the GC was working with had issues starting up their equipment to make the window assemblies for us. They pivoted to a different manufacturer, which pushed the manufacturing of these things out of the country. Though they are now in the country, as far as we've been told, they are not here yet.
I have
So-
not seen a link for a track. I want
Yes,
to track it
and
myself.
we are asking for tracking numbers on this stuff, but we are anxiously anticipating this being here soon. The last information we've got is that it's made it into the country, so I think that is New York, it's coming from Spain. We're actively looking for answers on that. Once it's here, it won't take too long to get that stuff installed. We'll make sure it happens right away.
So as long as that moves on the pathway, I also don't envision any other delays. If that doesn't move on the pathway for safety reasons, you'll hear from me that I'm gonna start putting pins in some of that. That doesn't mean we're missing our deadlines for completing the project. It just means it's hard for us to move into spaces and not have them meeting fire code. You'd be better off to stay in a quote-unquote construction zone. So I point that out because there's no link and I can't track the shipment from FedEx or Amazon like I would at home, and I can't see that little bar moving, so.
Hopefully we can
yeah.
soon. I'm trying to get that for us.
Yeah, so staying positive around it, but I think worth noting here because it is something that we've been tracking for some time and we're very hopeful that it's almost here, but.
According to the timeline we were given, as it was being shipped, we do expect it soon. We just need
Everybody do this.
Is that fire rated storefront? Is that what we're?
The framing and the glass, yes. Which is, regular stuff would be much more readily available. Can't use that in these applications.
Dr. Chanel, a question for
Yes.
you that kind of goes along with what Liz had said. The teachers have a designated contract and only can work a certain number of days. Is there any consideration to have a board action to provide more time for those people to get their
Sure,
spaces
so
ready?
we don't really have to do it as board action. We would actually do it through our submittal process that we do for summer work. So teachers are actually working for us right now on the campus. The board does approve through the teacher contract what those additional hours would look like in terms of their pay. So we do have a mechanism to pay teachers when they come in to do extra. We will be seeing that at the middle high school for that library to be put back together, for the librarian to come in and be prepared. That space, I have zero concern. We'll have all the furniture moved in, it's already ordered, it has a delivery date, like I'm anticipating all of that. And the books being moved back in to the high density storage. So I'm feeling like, yes, you're gonna see the middle high school librarian here. At the elementary level, you would be trying to bring the librarian in with maybe like 24 hours of crashing in. We're not gonna do that. So we might still, at open house, be able to walk the library and see the space, but not necessarily be teaching in it, just to alleviate that stress.
Yeah, good, thanks.
One other question that I have, are we partnering or have any intermunicipal agreements with the Village of Caledonia for paving? We did not do that this
No,
time?
we studied that back in the procurement process and they didn't have time.
That's too bad.
It is, it was a nice.
They do a really good work.
They do, and it was a nice partnership for a couple projects.
Okay.
Just, it wasn't ignored, it just didn't work out this time.
All right.
They've done trucking, they've done the excavation work, they've done almost everything except for the pavement. They have to sub that out too, but in the past projects, they've done stuff.
Any other questions from the board?
Actually, yes, I'm sorry, I just thought of this. When, I think it was in the first picture, you showed the labels above the spaces, where it says guidance office.
Yes.
Should it say counseling center?
It
Because
should.
that's what it's
It
referred
should.
to by everybody here.
It should, so that is
It
one of the
should and
things.
it will.
One of the items that's on our punch list to take care of. There are some other signs in that hallway we're gonna be changing as well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks.
Sherry, is there a public forum?
There's no public forum.
Okay, there's no public forum, so I'm gonna hand it over to you, Dr. Chanel, for your superintendent report.
All right, let me start by asking Mr. McCarle a question. Mr. McCarle, do you need to go first?
Yes.
Yes, let's go.
Tuesday on the turf.
We're gonna let Mr. McCarle go first. We're gonna go a little out of order. I've been sitting over here thinking, oh boy, he's gotta be molting right now. We should have sent you out there and texted you when it was time.
They asked if I had backup, I didn't.
Just text us.
Okay, so just gonna walk you through, some of our, are we on, is this PDF?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is what you sent, yes.
Okay.
We'll scroll.
Okay, so I'm just gonna get it up on my, phone as well, okay. First of all, I just wanna thank the board for just your outstanding support, for athletics. We see you all year round, at the events, whether you're there as a parent or you're there cheering on, you know, as a resident. We really appreciate that. Our coaching staff, our student athletes, you know, the board has a long-standing tradition of supporting athletics in our community, and we're really proud of that. And we appreciate, you know, that work that continues as we continue to evolve the effort that we have for athletics. Basically, I'm just gonna kind of rifle through some highlights today, and we'll go to our what a 25-26, and it was just an outstanding 25-26 when it came to our athletics, and I'm most proud of just so many small to large performances that happen by our student athletes on a given night, in a given season. And our coaches as well. Next slide has us here. This is our percentage rate of our students that are participating in athletics. We have 54% of our student body, that's 7th through 12th grade, participate in the fall, 53% in the winter, and then 58% in the spring. When a lot of schools numbers are diving, or they're having to merge for many teams, you know, we continue to, you know, withstand that and have great participation at all of our seasons. We're not struggling, you know, to maintain program. The programs that we've already merged, those are very healthy and, you know, continue to be healthy as well. Next slide gives us, you know, the concept. I'm very competitive. You know, we're here to win, and that's what we did this year. You know, we finished with 180 and 91 varsity record. That's pretty impressive. You know, we really played some very tough scheduling across all sports in our non-league. Really proud of the efforts that we had to build that. Obviously, there's more than winning, but this is important. You know, I mean, there's winners and losers, so it's important that we're winning. So we won.
We agree.
And I would stack that up, again, I would stack that up across Section 5 and Section 6, schools our size that would have almost a 70%, you know, winning rate, you know, across the three sports. So here's some of our cool honors that we had this year. We had Coach Carson. She was our class Coach of the Year for Game Day Cheer. I don't know if you know Coach Carson. If you don't, she's the ultimate staple of cheerleading. I mean, she's like the John Wooden of cheerleading, and she's our coach. Okay, so she does an
She's been there
outstanding
for
job.
years.
30+ years, and
Years.
she's gearing up for her next season as if it's her first year, and that's why she's good. Cares.
Should see her license plate, like she's
She's all in.
She's all in. She's
CM
all
cheer.
in.
Yeah, her entire family's her coaching staff. Next up, we have Coach Day, and you want to talk about a cherry on the Sunday. I mean, he just closed out an incredible run in pure class. I mean, dresses in the shirt and tie. I can't say enough about the impact that he's had on a very important percentage of our student body, and just how he goes about his business. I think it is the utmost respect of what he did to build an incredible program where many young men found themselves, found success, learned how to be on a mat by themselves, competing. And they're going to walk away with a lot of great things because of that man. So we're really going to miss Coach Day. Coach Gaffney was also a Coach of the Year this year, stepped into our golf program and won a block. And it was great to see him really thrive with a great group of boys and be really successful. And he did it with a way, again, where the level that he approached his job was really, really important. And he understands program. He's been a coach here for many years. So we were really excited to see him hold that block. Today's his birthday. Happy birthday, Coach Gaffney. And then one of Coach Gaffney's former coaches, Coach Dickens, wrapped yet another plaque in his office for Coach of the Year and another block. Coach Dickens continues to, trail a level of success. He's smoking there as he's walking away. He has a shine on his helmet, and he just really is a beacon of high-quality coaching. He's a beacon of understanding developing program and getting girls to just buy into a system and play hard. And our community rallied hard behind that softball team. It's just great to see. It was like old school Calamom showing up at MCC, showing up at Livonia, and seeing just so many faces of people that you just don't normally see at athletics. And that's just old school Calamom. It was awesome. Chills all day when you're walking around and seeing when a team's making that type of run. So really, really proud of him and our softball program. Next slide, we won 4 LCAA titles this year, team titles, and that's a lot. At the AD meeting, they kept bringing me the trophies in June, and I was asking the ADs if they could help me walk out to my Next slide is a great photo here of 1980, where all roads go to the monument, and it's not every year that you get to go there. So for us to go there this year 3 times was really awesome, and it was just great to see, and many of you were there all 3 times. Next slide. I don't know how many were at this one though at that time, because it was like -18, but there was still diehard people there. That's our wrestling team coming in. It was crunchy walking around the monument that night. It was really, really awesome. It was, again, great to see Coach Day finish his career, and so many of our great seniors that we had on that team just dominate. And they all rose up and performed at a really high level, and I was really proud of them. Next, we had our softball team, and we, talk about crashing a party. They crashed the Trout Fest, which we just brought up the whole town to the monument. And it was just awesome. I mean, again, old school Calamom vibes, a lot of people, and celebrating a crowning achievement for this team with girls that were contributing from 8th grade all the way to 12th grade. Really unique and a lot of fun.
Can I just add that they made the bus take them down? Can you tell the board about that? That the softball team went the other way, right? They
Yes.
could have come this way
Yeah.
to the monument.
So the Coach Dickens was all about that, as was both of the fire chiefs. They wanted to meet up at Jones Hall, which is totally out of the way of coming back from
But
Livonia.
Trout Fest was,
Yeah. So they had their eyes on wanting to come through. We had our student photographer, James, did a great job doing some drone work during that we put together in our video. So yeah, it was cool. And a lot of people went to the Trout Fest after and celebrated. So it was just a great weekend for Caledonia. A lot of fun. And then we had our golf team win the sectional title. Really cool experience for them. We had people there from 7th grade till 12th grade again, so it's a full scope of athletes contributing, for a title. And it was, really proud to see Coach Gaffney pull that off. And it was a three-shot win for the varsity team that day. Really, really razor close. So it was awesome to see it done. We had some individual champions. You can see 3 of them from wrestling that won individual sectional championships, which is a lot for a small school. At the team championship that day, those guys were absolute beasts. It was just awesome, pure domination by them. We had then inside, we had Emma and Cachet win individual for our indoor. Congratulations to them. Then we had these 2 freshmen that busted out and played doubles together. You know, I mean, some good smiles there. Those guys made it to the state qualifier, finishing in 3rd place, and it's a pretty unique tennis experience when you get called out in front of all the classes, and that was really cool for them to feel that as a freshman, and they're going to be back. I mean, those guys are on the court here almost nightly. I'm seeing them, some with their shirts on, some not, but they're really working hard, and there's a vibe that's happening. So congratulations to those guys. And then, just go back one more, yep, there's the Queen, Emma Brogan. I mean, arguably our most decorated student athlete that we've ever seen come through this school. You wanna talk about perseverance, I mean, this season, she really was injured for most of the outdoor season and battled through that, didn't really tell anyone. You know, outside of her inner circle that were really helping and managing her to be ready to peak on a night like this, and peak she did. 3 sectional titles on one night out there in, where was that again? I almost want to say section 4, just joking. But it was it was way out there, and it was a great night, and Emma just dominated when she needed to. And she's walking away with 10 sectional titles overall. Incredible, going Division I. Then on top of all that, had 3 athletes make it to the state championship of their individual sport, which, you know, again, small school, 3 student athletes going to the state championship. If you look really closely in between the ref and Donnie, you'll see one of our administrators there with both of her arms up. Back there. Just an awesome experience for Jackson, who, yeah, a great story because he comes back from an injury as his junior year, doesn't even wrestle. And you know, battles back from multiple surgeries, you know, keeps his head up, shows up at all practices and all meets last year as a junior to return back as a senior and pave a road all the way to Albany. I mean, it's a book. I mean, and he's showed up as a volunteer at their open mats still, and he's helping. And it's just to me, that was the crowning jewel of what high school sports is all about. You know, batting the odds and coming back from adversity. I mean, I just can't tell you how proud I was to see him do that. And he had great support from Coach Day and all of his family members that are in that whole section. It was just so awesome. It was great. Dr. Chanel was also kind of off to the right.
Just behind the white.
She was pumped up. It was just awesome. That was down in Bath, and it was just really great to see. Next, Liam McCardle made his way to the state championship 13 minutes from here, which is really cool, at Mill Creek. And he made us really proud. You know, he had 2 great days, shooting 77 and 74 to finish top 25 out of the top 99 golfers in the state. Did so with some great support. You know, with like all our athletes got, you know, a lot of different people showed up both days to walk with him and see him perform. And, you know, really proud, obviously, as a dad to be there and see his hard work, you know, pay off to make it to that stage. And he is, you know, he has a lot of high hopes, and we're going to see what he can do. So congratulations to Liam.
What Tim won't say about Liam, because it's his kiddo, I said to Liam one day out by the tennis courts, I said, hey, how'd you do tonight? And he said, I did all right. And then I wake up the next day to the morning announcements, and he came in first. And he's so humble about what he's accomplishing. He just stays really focused, and I love that about him. I love to fist bump him and remind him to stay that level of humble.
Thank you. And then finally, Emma, you know, she also had to only drive about 25 minutes to Webster, and she just really, again, peaked. She had her best performance of her season at the state championship, and it was just absolutely incredible to see, you know, her do the triple jump and finish on the podium with a medal and punch her ticket again. And, you know, talk about just finishing the career between her and Jackson as seniors. You can't ask for a better finish. So just really proud of those 3 state reps. All of our teams this year made the Scholar Athlete, except for wrestling and baseball, and we had special motivational speech with some of those athletes and coaches, because we want to get every team into this, to win that. We have a bunch of the glass things. We want to get that big silver thing that you can win from the state. So, we have some, high hopes to see if we can do that. And then a couple of points of emphasis, not getting really into any of this, but we met, you can go to the next slide, thank you. We met with our coaches at the end of the year, and these are some of the things that we're really looking at. I mean, for me, one of the big things is continuing to understand that CalMom is athletics, not recreation. And that when you sign up to be a CalMom athlete, you're competing, you're committed to being a part of that team. You're not missing it for anything else that doesn't make sense to miss. And we saw a couple things that are modified that was kind of peaking with club sports or AAU. And we are really making that a point of emphasis with our families to just, and again, that's a very small percentage of the young group because they're new to the game with that. We just want to make sure that they understand that this is CalMom athletics, not recreation. Big thing for us is development, leadership. We're really excited to kind of use those two both in skill and in mind and see what that can do for all of our athletes. We did our Captain's Council this year and looking to build that into a program that infuses to all student athletes. One of the things, next slide, I'm looking to do, I have a lot of cool images that I'm going to kind of use in some different ways like this. And we have so many great things that are happening on our fields that are showing leadership and are showing all those skills that people want to hire, and how the athletic fields can equate into a job hire and qualities as a human person. So we're really going to look to kind of push this out a little bit more and have some fun with that. You can go two more. Yep, pass that one. Okay, so now we are winning the off-season. I appreciate a chance to go first here, as I'm going to be excusing myself soon to go set up some things. The next slide is our Raider weight room. So we are currently right now in week 2 of our Raider weight room. We have over 30 students that have already shown up to our Raider weight room, and we're really excited to offer this program. It has been a lot of fun. Nothing gets me more excited to be spotting a girl or a boy for the first time doing a squat and seeing them go from a low weight all the way to a lot of weight by the end of the summer in 6 to 8 weeks. It is really cool, and confidence grows in that weight room, and that's one of the keys that we want to continue to untap. If you go 2 more slides, our Tuesday on the turf, we had 47 Raiders and rivals there. You can go 2 more to the slide. Yep, there you go. Tuesdays at the turf, we're offering 5 of these. Tuesday nights this summer again. It was a huge success last year. And obviously it's great to get out and work under the lights and have fun. But what's really cool is the culture building that's happening out there when people are seeing each other work hard. And it's good checkpoints throughout the summer for our athletes to be together and be around. So that's going to be happening here in less than an hour. And hopefully we'll see. I asked every 47 people, if you all bring one person that wasn't here last week, we'll be close to 100. So we'll see what we can do. But there's a couple pictures in your slides that kind of show what we're doing out there. The final slide is our fall sports registration. July 17th. We'll be pumping out our JV and varsity football registration, and then the 24th we'll be pumping out our all rest of fall sports, because August 17th is JV varsity football start, and then the 24th is the rest of our fall sports start. So you have to go 30 days, that's why we have a week of a gap there. So that's kind of a quick highlight of our athletic season 25-26. Bar is high to do that back again this year. Any questions?
The board is going to vote here shortly on the athletic code of conduct.
Yes.
There aren't any changes right now to the athletic code. The only thing, would you just speak a little bit about the APP process?
Yep, the APP process at this point is not official yet, but the state's going to be voting, I believe, in July 20-something to basically abolish APP. So what that means is currently if you're a 7th or 8th grader, you would be, you would have to go through a doctor, a tanner, sheet to basically go through the doctor's process to be a JV or varsity athlete if you're 7th, 8th grade. And then you'd have to do a physical sheet, which would take you through the mile, the long jump, the huddle, or the what's the word? Shuttle. So both of those are proposed to be done. And basically APP would go away. So any 7th or 8th grade student that's deemed eligible, to play a JV or varsity sport can try out. And it takes away any barrier to do that. Basically, why is it happening? I think a lot of schools abuse it. I think it's been hard to basically watch over. And I think that there's just a lot of people across the state that just want any athlete available, to not have a barrier to make it. So we here locally will use our varsity coaches the exact same way that we have been, as far as them, hey, I'd like to see, these 3 students that are in the current 7th, 8th grade be tested, to basically have access to go try out. So rather than them saying to be tested, they would just communicate to me, hey, I'd like these 3 to be contacted to come and be invited, to our JV or varsity tryout. That's been kind of the long standing that most schools do. So we would just communicate very, very black and white to our varsity coaches, here's the change, and we're still looking for you to recommend, student athletes in the 7th and 8th grade that you think should have a chance to try out. Doesn't mean they're gonna make the team, but gives them a 3-day tryout period to have a chance to make the team.
Any questions about that?
I do have a couple comments. First, thank you for all the work you put into athletics and where you're bringing us. That's much appreciated and acknowledged. Couple questions. In terms of sports that we are sharing or have combined teams with, Leroy, I think that's the only district now that we share services with, correct?
For sports, correct.
I
yeah.
think having a renewed emphasis on having the same standards in terms of communication and coaching and all those things when we're doing those partnerships is important to the board.
Mm-hmm.
I also think having some, and I keep coming back to this, Tim, and this is me as an individual board member, not as the board president, having a unified included in this. It's important to me. I think it's important to our community. We're recognizing them as athletes, and if anyone's gone to the games recently, they have to bring chairs over. The bench is getting so big.
It's huge.
So possibly looking into more opportunities for them. I know that there's unified bowling,
Mhm.
but just exploring those things is important to me as a board member. And that's all I have.
Yeah, and I would just say that with the unified, I mean, it's really cool because we do have other partnerships with them, obviously with Avon, with Pavilion, and Leroy, and us that make up our team. And it was again a really exciting season. Frustrating finish game, but outside in the championship game, but really exciting season. And Coach Howard has signed up for another year, so we're really excited to have her back. The bowling is something that I'm going to be pursuing. LCA is talking about unified bowling, and some of the LCA schools are pushing forward with that. So I'm going to be looking at this year kind of like coordinating what would that look like for our budget, what are the costs, how what type of how many people would we have, but there has been some nice movement in that area for bowling. So I'm
Fantastic.
really excited to see if we can add that.
Thank you for all your hard work across the board.
Yeah, Phil, thank you very much. We appreciate the support.
A couple of meetings ago, the board also had a family come and speak in public forum about wanting to launch a rifle team. So I kind of tossed that back to you.
Mhm.
Can you just share with the board a little bit what our process is and how we go about adding teams
Yeah,
to
so
our?
we're currently, everything runs through our athletic, what's
Council.
Council, I wanted to say before, our athletic council. And this year we have had a handful of, whether it's individual or team sports, come through with requests. So basically, an individual has the opportunity to bring a form of a startup, so to say, to this council, and then we, as a council, review that. And at this point, the council is pretty straightforward in the fact that there's not any interest at this time to, start a new sport or to start a new experience. Because of the fact of our numbers being really healthy in all of our sports, I think the general, summary of the group is to keep it as is. Because once you add things, then ripples start happening in other areas. So a conservative approach to that is kind of where the council has been, which is why you haven't seen any of those make it to you. They basically, there's a vote within that council of a yes or a no to move it on, and those so far have been no. As far as the rifle, the council felt that the current offerings that in the fall with our new track, and then with our archery program that runs basically all winter and then into our spring archery track, that we have a lot of opportunities across the board for those sports that are technically not section, those aren't Section 5 sports, but they're clubs and opportunities. So that's, some of the feelings that are around that.
Any questions about that? I just want to make sure that the board knows that, I think you do know that, but when someone comes and speaks in public like that, I'm usually charged with making sure we're getting back to them. And the two particular cases where we had flag football and then riflery, those, because they're sports, they go back through our process. So just reminding you all that we have a process, we run our process, and that's how the follow-up has occurred with that family.
I've got a comment. I was really impressed with the student representatives and the work they put in on that committee, showing up early in the morning and doing that. What were their names again?
We had Jacob Wiley, and we had Tabby Cole.
It was neat to see them as students willing to speak and assert, the student body's opinion. Usually kids are pretty quiet, so that was neat to see their participation.
Yeah, I think that, they boast, and not to add more to it, but I think, there's an understanding of we have things that are going really well, and I think there's always that uneasiness of adding things to that and what that's going to do. So I mean, that's kind of where we're at. Not saying that that's what it would always be, but currently that's kind of the, like you said, the voice of that council.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
So now we can go back up to number 1, elementary discipline, and then middle high school
I'm gonna
discipline.
let them go first, so that, because I think
Yeah.
Tim is.
He's gonna help with
I'm
it.
gonna go.
Then you make.
I wasn't sure where we were at with the turf. I was feeling the pressure.
Really great change of pace here. We're gonna go from that to
It's just it's a day in the life of our job.
So we're just gonna talk a little bit about, kind of a summary of our discipline data for the year, not a whole lot, to talk about, other than kind of just looking at the numbers. We saw an increase in referrals this year, that's obvious. Step number 1, you'll see the 24-25 data, I didn't, 298 referrals were processed, and then this past year we processed 436 of them, so that number definitely jumped. You can see the breakdown of kind of specific things that we were dealing with in terms of categories there. And then next you will see what we did about those referrals that came in. So you'll see that, we're consistently providing consequences for students. Every child that is a number here we met with, worked through, did obviously restorative work in addition to. So it's definitely an area that our eyes are on and we're focused on, and we need to do some intervening with, and that's definitely something that we have already brainstormed ways to put things into place for next year. So do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I'll just say that, I think it was a busy year when it came to, student management, and I think this number reflects, the acknowledgement by our staff and in our front office that we're not gonna just turn our eye to things, and we're gonna do our best to educate and to work with as many students that are making mistakes as possible. And we try to use a lot of resources in doing that. And obviously the last thing we wanna do is see kids go into a suspension, whether it's in or out. Those both numbers went up. That doesn't necessarily mean that it was a lot of students that were a part of that. It was a smaller number of percentage of students that were in that. But it is what it is. And I think that we're really excited to, see what we can do with the work that we put in this year with those students and what that'll bring next year.
Do those numbers indicate, like, the same child in there a couple times, or is it
Oh,
a
yeah.
unique student? Not always a unique student, it could be one student
Oh,
5
yes.
times.
Good
Or
question.
more.
Yeah.
Or more, so yes.
Yeah.
For example.
We do have the breakdown by month there, so you'll see we like to ramp it up in October and March. Those are some fun months that we really hold on tight, but pretty consistent across the board otherwise. And then again, just to kind of talk about some of the interventions that we do have planning for, I'll let you speak to those, Tim.
Yeah, Savvy Raider, I think we're really proud of the Savvy Raider program, and 190 awards we gave out this year. So, it's always great to talk about, mistakes or speed bumps that happen in the school, but we're also at the same time consistently doing a monthly Savvy Raider award, and I think really we pride ourselves on that, and kids are really excited to win that. We try to have really good prizes for that, and it's part of who we are. We've been doing it for many years now, so really excited about that. This year, Morgan and myself are going to do this really cool approach to the Raider Cup, and this is going to be a focus on all middle school students during home base monthly with really cool topics, leadership seminars. And both of us are we're both athletes. She's more than me, but we're both really competitors, and we love leadership. So we're going to kind of take some of our experiences and hone into this Raider Cup experience for kids in grades 6 through 8 to kind of just infuse some more tangible day-to-day leadership and a lot of different other topics. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have some really cool areas to do this within the school, and we're both in a rah-rah mode, so we're going to bring that and really push that out there. Faculty training, we just had a great speaker that was actually pretty famous. If you're on social media, Dr. Chanel brought in this trendy. Trendy is a soft word to describe her, but it's a cool word to bring in a person that's nationally known on the internet around making connections with kids, and being the best that you can in managing behavior. So we have our staff in the right direction to be thinking about how we're going to make some adjustments in that, and we're going to build off of that this year. Targeted counseling is something that I think we want to get out in the forefront a little bit more than we have, just because we have some different needs that we're seeing come through. So partnering with our counseling center, that was a good catch, to really offer some offense rather than reactive, programming. And getting kids involved with counseling that maybe don't, quote unquote, need it, but everyone needs it, but it's like a stereotype of kids, these guys need a lunch bunch. Well, I think everyone needs a lunch bunch. I need a lunch bunch, that'd be great to be part of a lunch. So I think that kind of doing some of that, work is something that we're excited to do. So just kind of playing offense and building off of some of those successes that we've had and not being deterred by, we had a lot of referrals last year.
Can I bring something up? I'm trying to figure out how to formulate this in my head a little bit. I was struck by when you were talking about the athletics, you've got 55% of all kids, and I'm thinking, what are the other 50% of kids doing or not doing? And certainly with athletics, you have, I read carefully through your whole code of conduct and stuff, and that's really, really good. That's really helping them with leadership. The other 45% of the kids who aren't involved in sports, are they getting that kind of, support, instruction, I don't know what. But I guess part of what I'm thinking of is the clubs or whatever that would be help the kids who aren't athletic, you know, like, I don't think we have a science club right now.
Yeah, that's our goal. I
You
mean,
know,
we
and
did some research too, Peggy, with like how many students are involved in extracurriculars entirely, and I can't remember the exact number, but I think it was upwards of 78% of our whole student body, 6 through 12, somewhere in there, is involved in something other than just coming to school, but that 20 whatever percent is left, those are our kids that we really have to continue working with to try and find a connection for
Yeah,
them,
yeah,
so.
well, I mean, y'all know, I mean, my kids were so involved with Odyssey of the Mind and
Yes.
stuff,
Mhm.
you know, and went to Worlds, you know, and so that was a huge thing, and we don't do that anymore. And Math Club and what are those other ones? Brainstormers and all that sort of stuff, and we need the kids who aren't gonna play football, that they could do something like that, that gives them the confidence to, you know, and do all that stuff.
100%. I think we celebrate that, and I think you see those teams are full. We have a lot of those teams that are full. You know, Gigi's on in some of that action over the past years. But I think that's a great thing to lean on leaders like Gigi, you know, and students that are, you know, connected to that level to do some recruitment, shake the bushes, getting kids that maybe are on the fringe, you know, to
Because, you know, it was funny, I was looking in the newspaper one time and said, they used to put the brainstormers and stuff at the DNC, you know, in the newspaper. I don't think they have anything like that anymore. You know, we need to celebrate those kids too. So.
Thank you. Anything else?
Congratulations on your first year working together.
Thank you.
I think that the referrals really speak to the trust that the teachers have in your leadership. Looking forward to seeing where it goes.
Me too, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
It's off to the turf now.
Do you have a costume?
I do have
I hope
shorts.
so. All right, elementary, hi everybody, welcome.
No.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, bye Tim.
See you guys.
Bye.
I actually like that we're going after the athletics because you'll see my report is behavior trends and intervention report. I'm trying to shift the mindset around discipline. I mean, we look at an athlete and we say they're so disciplined, and why is that? Well, they have good sportsmanship, they have grit, perseverance, all of the words that all of the adjectives I can think of, but that's at the foundation of it all, and it's all part of a learning curve for our littles that are gonna be coming in as 4-year-olds. So, you can go to the first, oh, that's me, I have it today. Okay, well, I've done both. Okay, so as you know, we're building that foundation of what does that look like to just be a good human. So a few years ago, we started with the Raider 5. I can tell you that this year, I'm seeing it seep into the community a lot more at the rec, at Park Rec, in homes. I have parents coming in and saying, even at the summertime, we did an interview, and we were interviewing a mom and of ours, and she said, thank you, because I've been using it this summer too. Is that good? I mean, it's not meant to be novel, right? We're in a partnership to help raise great kids. So what I will say about the Raider 5 is that we sent over 600 postcards this year to students for earning at something. Being acknowledged for being kind, safe, accepting, respectful, and the golden rule. So over 600, which also translates to 600 names being called on the morning announcements. Kids love that. And I still hold true to that old school thing that you can put on the refrigerator. So I was trying to think of new inventive ways, but honestly, sometimes it's just the thing in the mail is the novelty, and that's just as exciting. So we'll be continuing that. We also had, 2 celebrations that I'll get into in a minute, but the numbers speak for themselves. So 116 total incidents that were in need of report. I say that differently because at the elementary level, we're constantly redirecting students and supporting students on what correct and appropriate behavior is. So not every incident contact of kids do we have written down, but certainly the ones that inform our own practices and the child. So we'll call home, we do all of the things that middle high school was talking about, but we did reduce, the goal for me this year
was I wanted us as a building to work towards reducing our total incidence by 30%, and we exceeded that reduction. Thanks honestly to having boots on the ground assistant principal, our counselor, we've collaborated and partnered with the Center for Youth. That has been monumental for us. And then, of course, being able to finally work on some more of the restorative practice. Rather than just the discipline, the call home, we have the personnel now to be able to follow through and see it through. You'll see the trend. The trend is, well, actually, I'll save it for another slide, but the trend is very similar, of course, to the middle high school. We see a rise in about October, November, where we need all of our reminders given again, and then again in the spring, we get it's truly the same pattern, just reduction in incidences. I think, as I was putting this together, I think I'll try to be more strategic about where we put our assemblies. So we have some great people that we've leaned on to give motivational messages and remind students about behavior and positivity and anti-bullying. And so maybe putting them in those months might help spearhead some reminders. But our teachers are honestly the best, and they hold a tight ship. Classroom rules are all the same. They've really leaned on the Raider 5 to help support their classroom culture. And so the feedback has been really positive. I will say, before I get to that, I will say a couple of fun facts. Again, talking about that shift perspective, right here, of what does it mean to be disciplined, we're really trying to celebrate the successes. So 108 students earned all 5 stickers. That meant that somebody, somewhere, a grown-up, for the most part, we're gonna work on the student shout-outs. I'll tell you about that in a moment, but I was excited about it, but then I understand a different perspective. However, adults seeing kids do great things and rewarding them happens so often that it really did change our perspective in the building. So 108 students earned all 5, and then we had 2 celebrations, one in the winter and then one at the end of the school year that I was sad to miss. But we celebrated all similar to the Breakfast of Champions and that they do up there. We did an ice cream party, and I think that is still very well received for this coming year. 24 students earned 4 out of the 5, and 60 kiddos earned 3 out of the 5. So a really huge percentage. And actually the mom that I was talking to said, my kid can't wait to come back and try to earn all 5. And we will have something other than stickers. I will do a video reveal of our prize so that our students, our Raiders, are excited to see what they can earn this year. It's already ordered, so exciting stuff to come. So yes, his goal is to get all 5. He was able to earn 2, so he would like to earn more. Where the top offenses happen, the bus is always a problem-solving area for us. It keeps our brains going and our creativity going as well. So we did see a decline in referrals. It could be for many reasons. We had new transportation directors, we shifted that perspective, so they had new rules and process that they were following. Further collaboration with the transportation department, and bus assemblies and targeted restorative follow-up coming from both the bus garage from the transportation department as well as the office.
Can I just ask a question
Of
about the
course.
bus, Michelle?
Yeah.
So if the transportation department had an issue and the transportation director contacted the parent, is that included in this number, or would that be a separate
No,
thing?
that would be
So this
something
is just that the
separate,
bus
that it didn't get to my level.
Okay, just
Yes.
curious.
And that's new.
Right.
So it used to be, depending on how the director wants to manage that portion of it, we're trying to figure out the best way that families want to be communicated with. I wasn't on the bus, right? It's so hard to see, and sometimes the parents are right there at pickup. Most of mine are right there there's a grown-up there to see a student on and off the bus. So that FaceTime with the driver happens quite often, where I may not be privy to something. But the ones that I've recorded were actual referrals that came to me that I addressed.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question. where the impact is. So the referral volume remains in 4th and 5th grade. That shouldn't be a surprise. That's where we start to see that social peer conflict. It's also where we've started to do some more intervention work. So again, you saw that we partnered with the Center for Youth, but we also partnered with Casa Trinity, and our support there comes in and does boy and girl groups separate based on student needs, based on surveys that they're asking the teachers and the students to see who would be interested, and calling home for the parents. So we've had quite a number of boy and girl groups for 4th and 5th grade. And thank you to that partnership with Casa Trinity. And then of course our Center for Youth follow-up. And then we also welcomed the Tim Hortons Foundation this year around January, and they came in just their program specifically for 5th and 6th graders, and we welcomed them in. It was a free partnership. What a wonderful setup, scope and sequence, and engaging program for our 5th graders. It was talking about team building, leadership, of course anti-bullying, just remaining true to yourself, being a safe online. So it covered all the bases. We are excited to welcome them back again this year. 5th grade unanimously wanted that collaboration. And then pre-K through 2, you'll see again, it's just focus on transition and building that stamina. A lot of kids need breaks throughout their day, and having the Center for Youth partnership, as well as using our counselors, assistant principal, myself, everybody, we can help meet that need for our kiddos, and then of course reviewing our safety rules. I can anticipate that our pre-Kers coming up, which is going to be very exciting, will be a learning curve since they will be with us all day. So we're definitely going to be partnering big buddy systems with 5th grade and pre-K, and then hopefully involving our 4th graders so that our kindergartners aren't forgotten about, because they need that support too. So, and then again, classroom and bus, just places that we are still being very creative with. And then cafeteria and hallway, misconduct improved. We redesigned the cafeteria. We took out some tables. We really talked about how many students were in there at a time, what could make it feel more intimate and manageable. So we set it up a little bit differently, and it seemed to have worked. I do need soundproofing. So if anybody is an expert in soundproofing, please find me. And then just an overview of some of the proactive measures that we've done. Again, I've mentioned the partnerships that we've had, but also staying creative and having a novelty that kids want to achieve, like the Golden Spoon, getting fun incentives in the cafeteria. We instilled some more structured interventions, I would say, with the Center for Youth. They have a 5-step plan, so when a student needs support, it's at the simplest, I put a quote there. The student became escalated, agreed to take a break, calm down, return to class to apologize. Within all of those commas is the work of the interventionist, right? The person that, or the crisis person that's gonna come in and support, whether it's myself, assistant principal, or Jamie, who was our Center for Youth liaison. So all of that happens with follow-up, calls home, writing down what happened, talking about our feelings, having some sort of mediation if needed. So all of that to just get back to class and instruction as quickly as possible. So you'll see, like, the baseline focus last year was very targeted in the sense of see the problem, solve the problem, whereas this year we were able to really lean on the experts in the school. So I was thrilled to see that, being able to have a specialist, the help zone with Jamie, de-escalation strategies that she brought for our staff, and you know, provided professional support during faculty meetings or teachers asking her to come in and support classroom lessons, and again, one-on-one groups and small group instruction as well. I'm excited for this year, seeing this continue and build stamina and have the Raider 5 keep going. It's really neat to see it starting when the kids are so little, and then some of the older kids going, I wish I had that. Like, I didn't have that prize, we didn't get that. And it keeps me connected to the kids, because Selfishly, I want to give them the prize. Teachers do that in their classroom all the time, so they have their own systems of praise and consequence and stuff, but I'm very pleased to be able to share that excitement with the kids. Questions?
Quick comment.
Yeah.
I appreciate you doing the behavior incentive program. It's a ton of work to manage that and to follow through on it. It takes commitment and buy-in from everybody doing it. It's a huge lift, so yeah, I think it's really special.
It's fun. It's great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Morgan's back up, here we go into some,
I don't think I have this projected, or maybe I do.
Sure, I got you.
Oh, no, that's, nope. I just not a slideshow. It's just a, do you have it in front of you?
it's in your backup notes.
Yeah, it's not a slideshow, Sherry. It's, no, that's, it should be.
Should just be a document.
Page 474.
Page 400. I didn't do a slideshow. It's just a document.
We didn't have that many.
That's okay, it doesn't have to be on the board as long as they have it in front of them. So you've seen January data, that's what that presentation is. And then June data is listed right there below for you in a table so you can compare. And I also have June 2025 data there for you, just to kind of look it over.
It
Super
is
proud
page
of-
285.
Thank you.
That is a real number.
So super proud of our work this year. You know, our students work hard, our teachers work hard, and our test scores show that. I continue to just be floored and impressed by the performance in the classroom. So just a quick highlight of some of our better, Algebra 1, our 8th graders in both Algebra 1 and Living Environment had 100% pass rates. Our ELA had a 95% pass rate, Global History 10, 100% pass rate, Living Environment overall 100% pass rate. All the kids that are in the class are passing the exam. There's just, it's incredible. I'm so proud to be a part of it. It really is awesome to witness. If you look at the data from the 2024-2025 school year and then compare it, in 7 of our 12 exams, our percentage passing went up and our percentage mastery went up. So we showed growth and improvement from one year to the next. Difficult to compare because you're dealing with different students, but obviously we see that teachers are reflecting and making adjustments and putting practice into place to help our students succeed. We're performing in the top ranks of the region. I have a nice comparison document that principals throughout the region submit to, so I've always got my eyes on that, checking that out, seeing how we're doing. But we're really working hard, and I couldn't be more proud of what this data shows. Happy to answer any questions if you have any. Awesome, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, next up is me, open meeting law review. So as part of my superintendent report tonight, I just want to share out with the board and mostly with the community. I have shared some things with the board in some weekly updates, just one-way communications around some of the work that we are trying to take on right now. So in terms of open meeting law, what I first want to say is that as a school district, we actually do a very good job of meeting open meeting law in terms of its overall requirements, kind of start to finish from our meeting. Not every school district posts their board meetings on video and puts it out there for everyone to see. You know, we meet all of the requirements of our meeting minutes and getting them out there. So and our board policies are all available for our community. So sometimes you'll see, you know, school districts really shine in certain areas and then have areas of systems that need to be grown out. I would say everything from I've gone in doing this work and kind of looking across the region, I've seen folks that do a really good job with the part that we're weak at, which is getting our information out to the public before the board actually facilitates the meeting. They might be very good at that, but then maybe their board policies are non-existent in terms of their community being able to access those. So it is not uncommon to find in public education that there are certain components of open meeting law that everybody's not strong all across the board. So really where we're at right now is that in order to get ourselves compliant with being able to take all the documents that are in front of you all and get them up on our website for the public to see prior to a meeting. So we're supposed to do that 24 hours before our meeting launches. We have a lot of system work to do on the inside to change the way that we build out our agendas. So the short of it is that the system that has been used in district for some time is not digital, meaning you have principals and directors over here, you have directors that are not present this evening, you have legal counsel, you have vendors, you have all kinds of folks. When you see the 387 pages here, district office probably generated 8 of these pages in total. Like most of what is coming to the board is coming from all of these outside folks, and your district clerk is actually gathering all of that information, getting it approved by me that yes, we can build that for a resolution. I'm ready for the board to vote on that. The documents that come in, some of them come in digitally, but a lot of them are still coming into our district office via paper. So what then happens is your district clerk takes these 387 pieces of paper and scans them all through a scanner. The scanner then actually creates this very large document. So this week, what I've done for the board, which I think has probably been felt a little disorganized to you, was a little intentional on my part, because what we need to do in order to become compliant with open meeting law is change our systems, which means I have to change the way you view documents. I have to change the way I communicate with you in order for me to be able to communicate with the community as a whole. So what you saw happen this week is that just as our district clerk created your board packet with all those backup documents, that document coming through a scanner turns into a JPEG. It's too large of a document to actually even have been emailed to you as one document. That document actually cannot be loaded on our website because it would not be ADA compliant. It's a JPEG. It can't be read. Can't be searched. Right? So what we have to do is we have to, even now what you saw, what you've seen, what we created on Monday, and then sent back out to all of you, that was built in Adobe Pro as we began to basically take the largest and the most complex meeting that we're gonna facilitate all year and build 2 meetings at the same time. I'm so sorry, Sherry, you were such a trooper, she's very tired. But I think it was imperative because in order for me to inform the board on sort of like what this change is gonna look like, the very first thing that I have to do is start looking at what does our system look like on the inside and how do I begin to make change. So on top of building this, I started to make change. So you all got a second version, which was built in Adobe Pro, but still built by me grabbing documents that had once been run through the scanner and bringing them over into Adobe, which means some of them are still showing up as images. Images they're not ADA compliant. So the district, we run the risk. Like we have, I was talking to someone this morning who said, well, just think about it. Think about all the ways and all the rules and regulations. You're basically a compliance machine. When you think about yourself as an organization, you're a compliance machine. To become compliant in one area might make us non-compliant in another. And really, the district has to try to balance all those compliance issues at the same time to mitigate them all kind of at the same time. So what I did this evening, and by sending you all an updated version of what the document looked like yesterday, by today, even though I still cannot list it up on our website, when folks sign in today into our meeting, I had a QR code which took them out to a Google page, which allowed them to see these documents, but still like on our local platform, not out on our website. Now, why did I do that? Well, because I think that's ease of access for folks that come. So there's 2 ways in which you can really facilitate open meeting law. If I can't get it out to you in what is considered reasonableness, if I cannot do that on my website, I have to be able to give you access to a printed copy or another way to view those documents digitally. So tonight I did both. I have both the QR code that would have taken you just to our local in-house where no bot, no agency is researching this little portion of my Google Drive that I shared this evening for ADA compliance. The second we do start posting to our website though, we have to be very cognizant of the fact that we must meet the ADA requirement. So over the course of the next couple of weeks, we have to try in this next meeting agenda to get all of our documents digital. So I need to issue a memo from my office out to every principal, director, all the administrators, and then out to all of our vendors that we're no longer accepting paper copies of anything, right? So people are now gonna have to shift and send everything to us digitally so that we can take that digital version and actually load digital versions into Adobe Pro and do the work there. So we have to rebuild how we function. Now, the good news about it is, and this is where I feel really good about trying to become more digital, if you reach out to me over the course of the weekend, and some of you did, I saw an error here, or it changed the person's name at the bottom, but the vendor still left an old name up at the top. There was really nothing I could do about that. That was a static JPEG document, I could not fix it, from my phone, I fixed PDFs, right, and sent you then attachments. In a new version of what you got last night, I could have easily gone in and just made the change and you would see the change. I am a digital native. I actually don't like flat documents. I would prefer to send an email that says, I just updated page 47 with this information, thank you, Becca, right? And then that becomes real time, that what the information that you're looking at is there. What I will tell you is the Adobe Pro, while I appreciate it more than that flat PDF, it is still going to be a very big drain on the build of an agenda. So I built both agendas this week with Sherry and made sure that we were FOIL compliant with what went out to our community if they showed up here tonight. You're still talking about prepping for a board meeting, taking Sherry and I typically 4 days to be prepared for the board meeting. I would argue you're gonna add a 5th day of preparation if we have to use such low-level technology. So this week, after building this to see, can I do this without expending public funds? I can, except I'm also an expense of public funds, right? So whatever it is that I am now spending my time on, or Sherry is now spending her time on, or Brennan is now spending his time on, is time away from the task that we are already doing. So I just wanna go back and talk about the fact that this evening, you watched your district clerk be reappointed as district clerk, and then as tax collector, and that doesn't even get you to benefit clerking, it doesn't get you to the fact that she is the secretary to the superintendent. We run a very skeletal crew in our district office, so I have asked Mrs. Pete to reach out and try to get us a quote. I'm expecting that if we're gonna really try to do this and do it well, we are gonna have to invest in a technology that would actually allow us to communicate with our community and with you as a board in a very digital way. I think that's gonna cost us ballpark somewhere around $13,000 to purchase the technology. As you know, when we purchase technologies and softwares through BOCES, we generate aid. It's still an increase in the expense of running our board business. But cheaper than what we get paid by the hour, if you start to think about manpower, cheaper than how much more effort and energy, and having our focus maybe shifted in the wrong places in terms of that effort. So the board, you're gonna watch me try in the next couple of meetings here to use what I'm still gonna call low-level technology with Adobe Pro to try to get us closer so that we are not frustrating a community member. I don't want to do that, that is not my goal, but my goal is to be compliant in each of those areas. As you think about, we are a compliance machine, I'm kind of traveling down the middle, trying not to touch any of the sides, right? In terms of the expense of being out of compliance with open meeting law, should someone file a suit against the district, it will cost us a little bit of money. They'll give us an opportunity to mitigate that issue before they completely take it to the courts, whereas with ADA compliance, you're probably talking about a much larger lawsuit. So I am kind of teetering sort of in the middle of how do I adjust. So I don't want the board or the community to think that I'm not adjusting, I really just need a little bit of grace. We are a newer administrative team, in district office in particular. We are not opposed to learning something new. We are on the verge of that. In a moment of taking a lap, there are a lot of things that you are seeing even in the way we conduct ourselves and your agendas, what you're getting and what we're making available to you. We're trying to be much more transparent than we've been in the past. So as we're moving in this direction, I understand that maybe not everyone in the community wants to give us grace, but I think it is imperative that as a body, that I not send you also documents that you don't know how to open and don't know how to read. So we and the work that you all do here, your ability to read, consume the information, I need you to have that so that we can move board business. So when Liz says that maybe we do a training in August and then we get back together in September to make some decisions, I think when you make those decisions in September, we're gonna have to commit to learning new technologies and making sure that we are ready to move our work forward. I will be able to blend into new technologies very quickly. It will actually make me very happy. So I am not opposed to that, but I think in general, we do need to have some of these conversations, talk about the cost, the expense, and make sure that as a board, not only are you comfortable with that, that's an expense that you want to take on. If you say we don't want to take on that expense, I think we should be very honest with one another that in the absence of purchasing something like Diligent Community, you're talking about a lot of added hours particularly on me, which is fine. I'm gonna do what the board asks of me, and I'm gonna get that work accomplished. But I think we need to have this conversation, and we need to balance that out so that we know what we're committing to and how we're gonna hit that end goal. Questions about that?
What was the name of the software again?
Diligent Community, it used to be called Board Docs.
Okay, I was gonna say, is that similar to
Board Docs was
with that kind
purchased
of-
by Diligent Community, which actually has almost doubled its cost.
Is it a subscription service or a
It
one-time?
is, no,
Of course
it's
it
a
is.
subscription service, right? So as we get into this, that, these are the kinds of things we wanna talk about. The flip side of that is if you go and look, and some of my colleagues, I would argue, are really good at this part, and I went to look at their systems and what they've built and what they're using, and if I were to take you to some of those school districts right now and show you how, for us, your backup notes are bookmarked, right? So you're kind of going back and forth between a resolution and a bookmark that takes you to page 298, whenever we were just on. Whereas if you move to a platform like Diligent Community, you would see the resolution, and then right below the resolution, there will be an attachment, which even if I upload PDFs, you guys know how to read those because it's been our practice. For a community member, they now have to go, so this backup document is connected to resolution number 17. Whereas Diligent Community, the resolution would be there and then the attachment would be there, and it would be like, oh, here's the backup for that resolution. So there are a lot of benefits to us moving to something digital.
And that allows fluid updates as well, so
It
say
does.
document 17 changes.
It does.
These 3 words change, you don't have an old PDF come up.
I still would have to go in and delete the PDF, fix the PDF and put it back up, but I could do that and then give you notification that that error was corrected. So it's.
In long term, it's probably cheaper to invest.
I think it is. I mean, I think it is. Just in what I did yesterday and today and trying to see, like, can I build this without having to invest so that I don't come and tell you that we need to spend money? Can I do it? Yes.
But is that
Was
sustainable?
it time consuming and would it be sustainable?
It's sustainable, it's drawing you away from something else, a
Right.
different priority.
Which was good, was fine for me to do this week, put me back in the school year and me being, I mean.
And if you do it the Adobe Pro or whatever, that's not a lasting technology necessarily either, is it? Like it is, but it isn't in the same way that the other one would be?
It would still be just as glitchy, meaning that the resolution will be here, but the supporting document would be, the supporting documentation's on page 298.
Right, and that's a drag
So
for
it's,
everybody.
do I think it would benefit some of what we were trying to solve? Yes. Do I think it makes it user-friendly for our community? So what does transparency really mean to people? That it's there and ease of use. Do I think Adobe Pro is gonna be there? Yes. Ease of use? No.
People don't want 500 pages to
Mhm.
rifle through, and if they look for a term, it's not searchable.
So I'm asking for a quote. So when we get back together in August, in your weekly updates and that one-way communication, I'll be able to share with you some of what I am learning, so that we have an idea, and then I think as a board, we make a decision that if this is a priority, that we're gonna invest in the priority in ways that make it doable for us to reach that goal, versus that it becomes a goal that is very time-consuming. And then I would be asking, like, if this is the goal, then what am I not paying attention to? Right, what comes off the plate if this becomes the goal? So I do think this goal is important, it's just a matter of let's deliver on it in a way that isn't gonna cost us so much human capital.
Is there someone at Bond who can advise that is not Sarah and the big dollar employee on confidential matters and help you build out what is public to share, what is available? I know that was a concern.
Well, what I was sharing with the board in that update is that what we have is a practice that we use, right? And so what I'm trying not to do is to get outside of our practice so much that we create our own liabilities. So right now, what is out there for the public to see today, if they had come to our meeting, they could have picked it up in paper, they could have scanned a QR code and had access to it digitally. What is out there now, I didn't need legal counsel for, and we already redacted what we knew would have to come out.
Okay.
Now, that I did that, I feel pretty versed in what I can and cannot show, but that took me about an hour today, right? So typically, when something is foiled, we are sending it to legal counsel for legal counsel to redact so that we are not leaving ourselves vulnerable to, did we just publish something that we shouldn't, like somebody's address, somebody's phone number, things that we really should not be putting out there.
I feel like once you get through the first run of going through these motions for a few months,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're gonna have it. The laws don't change.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm not as worried about that part. I'm worried about changing a system. So I like to think about an organization as a giant ship. And unlike the Porsche that was in our parking lot this morning, I have no idea who drove that here. They don't work for us, I'm sure. But unlike a Porsche where, we're on the road and we can make a quick turn and we can loop ourselves around, think about the big ship. The big ship doesn't just turn on a dime like that. I would prefer to drive a Porsche over the big ship, but a big ship needs a minute to make the turn, right? So where my concern is that we have a lot of folks that will reach out to us in the community and say, I don't like this or I don't like that. We might not be able to turn on a dime. That doesn't mean that gradually over time, we're not gonna get better in an area of focus that's a focus for us. My concern in my one-way communication with the board was, I'm not gonna try on a Thursday to make a U-turn. I'm going to hold to what we've always done while I try to build a system that makes sense. It's easier for me to respond to a FOIL request because there's a system for that than it is for me to try overnight to build a new system that honestly probably would have been very challenging for you as well for me to have turned on a dime. Like, can you open that document? Did it download for you? Guys, I don't know, do you have computers at home? Are you doing most of your board business on your cell phone? I've never asked you. But when we start to move into technologies that are not just an email with a PDF link that you can open from anywhere, we also have to start asking those questions. Do you need school-issued laptops? Do you have to have Adobe Pro in order to function the same way that I function in Adobe Pro? I was calling Liz Dow last night when she got home from work. Hey, are you home? I am. Can you get on a computer? I can.
8:00.
Can you, 8 o'clock? Can you open this document? Can you see this document? Can you see the bookmarks? What does that look like on your end from home? Because I have Adobe Pro, a paid version. So I don't know what you have at home. I have a paid version here at the school. So Director Pete, can I get the board, the paid version of Adobe? Yes, we'll have to add them in, right? So it's a big ship, and as we turn it, it can turn, ships turn, it can't do it very quickly. But that doesn't mean that we're not making progress. It doesn't mean that we're ignoring a problem or not looking toward a solution. It just means, woo, we gotta be careful, because we make too fast of a turn. We create for ourselves liabilities in other areas. It's our job to mitigate all liability, not just one spot. So that's all I am suggesting, is that we be thoughtful and strategic and make a move. This is not an unturnable problem. This problem has a solution. We gotta build it out. Yes?
This diligent community, is that like a third-party dashboard or portal that would not have anything to do with our website?
It would be hosted on our website, but just, the link on our website would take you out to a third-party vendor, yes.
Okay, and then if we go that route, or with Adobe, asking our vendors for digital copies of everything, is that gonna create an issue where we're chasing our tail, or a couple of vendors that have a policy of, we only issue paper ones, and then we are still scanning documents somewhere, like, is that?
If we had, let's say a vendor sends us something on paper and we just can't get them to go digital for us, they're just old school and they're just not going to do it. It doesn't take a lot of manpower to upload a document into Adobe, and it's 3 letters, I wanna say OCR. You run some sort of a program on it that takes it from being a JPEG and turns it into text that is readable, but then you have to test it. Like, is it readable in any area that's not readable? You have to go in and sort of like hand program it. So it would be a little tedious. Can it be done? Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Becky, you brought up, say, accessing these on our home laptops. How does, and this is a bit of a tangent, but how does data privacy play into that? Say we download the PDF of the agenda and it's sitting on our personal laptop. What's the protocol for that? Because say my child uses my laptop, sees this PDF, and says, oh, so-and-so is losing their job next week. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Well, here's the other thing about Adobe Pro. I kind of giggled a little bit this morning, yesterday, whichever it was, and I was sitting with Director Pete. I said, so I just shared this PDF with you, and you just opened it and And was it today?
It was today.
And she could edit it. Because she had Adobe Pro, so she could edit. I was like, wow, if I put it up on the internet like this, somebody could edit it. In the end, right, there's a lot of turning this ship that we've spent a lot of time collectively as a team going, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, people could do that to our stuff that's online right now, right? But it's not contracts, right? It's not contracts. The stuff that's online right now is you want to edit our code of conduct, okay, we have a board approved one, we'll go back and grab it. Contracts with identification information like that is the kind of stuff we're talking about. It is publicly available, right? We do have to supply it, but when we put it up there, we should do something that locks it down. So I'm sure there's a way in Adobe Pro to lock something down and have a password that works with it. But again, that's to my point. I cannot just turn the ship that quickly, but I'm after it. I'm chasing it, learning new things every day.
I think going this direction is really neat because as a board policy for public forum, we only allow people to speak to items on our agenda. And right now, they get a stripped down version of our agenda, what are they supposed to speak to? Whereas if they have access and they feel strongly about something that the board is making a decision on, they can come in an educated way and speak to us with their wishes. So I like that.
It's definitely the case from my research and my reading that in the state of New York, open meeting law does now require that you post 24 hours before a meeting, and probably 95% of school districts are non-compliant with that. It's old school thinking was the board gets all the information, makes the decision, and then shares that decision out with the community. It's old school thinking, and that exists in probably 95% of the school districts in the state of New York still. So we aren't alone in it. Few of my colleagues, when I called them, they said, don't you call here and ask me that again, have a good day. So I don't disagree with you that it is good for our community. I think in schools our size, where some of the ways that we have maintained fiscal conservativeness is that we run a very skeletal crew. And so when you run a very skeletal crew, and then you want to increase transparency, we talked about that with creating more newsletters. We are going to hire at a BOCES level to create 4 newsletters across the year because we don't have the capacity to do that without putting a person to it. So every time we're making these decisions, we have to be thinking about what we're building, what we're doing, and what is the cost of that, so that we are balancing our priorities. Most of the community, I can't speak for people, but they want us not to increase their taxes, right? So the question becomes, if we can't increase taxes, how do we then also increase our output? And we have to balance that. And abide by the law.
Further questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. We will move to old business. Number 1, approval of revisions to board policies. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the revisions to board policy number 7513, administration of medications, and 7521, students with life-threatening health conditions. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. We're going to go to new business. Number 1, school bus intermunicipal cooperative agreement. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the intermunicipal cooperative agreement with the York Central School District regarding the transportation of students in the event of a driver or bus shortage for the 2026-2027 school year per attached agreement. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 2, school bus intermunicipal cooperative agreement. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the intermunicipal cooperative agreement with the Leroy Central School District regarding the transportation of students in the event of driver or bus shortage for the 2026-2027 school year per attached agreement. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Second, Arnie. Any discussion?
Excuse me, am I correct in understanding our conversation? we have a vehicle that's, could take that position next year or whatever, and then replace what it's currently being used as right now because of funding? Is that how?
So both of these that we just approved the one with York, we're gonna approve the one with Leroy. These are actually the intermunicipal agreements that allow us, their boards are approving them as well. It allows us as a triad to really respond to one another if we have any sort of crisis or need. So let's say, for example, that we have 2 bus drivers that come down with the flu. We actually could have somebody from Leroy or from York, one of their drivers in one of their buses, transport our kids in an emergency. If
Okay.
we needed to evacuate this campus, those 2 schools could send all their drivers and all their buses and help us get off this campus into someplace safe, and we do the same for them. So these are redundancies. We are gonna do one here shortly, that's the borrowing of the van. We are leasing a van. We have been doing that now for 2 summers. I would like to purchase at the end of the school year another, whether it's a Durango or another vehicle like that through transportation, to be able to take this Durango that's currently in transportation, out of transportation over into our facilities, where Janice Garland would then be able to use it again without us needing to borrow. So there is some strategy there
Okay.
that I shared, yes.
That's the other one. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 3, approval of contract with West Fire Systems, Inc. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the West Fire contract for fire alarm inspection and testing. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 4, approval of contract with West Fire Systems. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the West Fire contract for fire alarm monitoring. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Motion by Becca, second.
I'll second.
Second. Peggy.
Third, roll the dice.
Discussion.
Third.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? That motion is carried. Number 5, approval of WaterWise contract. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the WaterWise service contract for the 2026-2027 school year. May I have a motion, please?
Make it.
Cameron, second.
Second.
Second, Becca. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Number 6, approval of Stark Tech Services LLC. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the contract with Stark Tech for generator services. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Quick question and aside here, is there a replacement plan for those generators? I think they're old, are they not?
They did show up again in the building condition survey. Let me get back to you with what their scheduled life was. We did put in a new one, I wanna say in the 2018 project at the elementary school. The one at the middle high school might have been updated on this side of the building, but let me get back to you on that.
Okay.
Are they tested on a regular basis?
The generators, yes, they are.
And they work, I assume?
They do, when they don't, we gasp for air and we fix them.
Thank you.
Similar to fire drills, right? Sometimes you pull a fire pole and you say, whoa, right? Which is why we pull different poles everywhere, so a lot of redundancy in the way we test.
Another question, just,
Sure.
like some of these contracts, I only just thought of it now after we finished number 5, but it says for the 26-27 school year. Should they all say that, just for consistency? Like in the
Like in the resolutions themselves, we could do that moving forward.
It's fussy, but it's
Yeah.
inconsistent.
Sure, and we don't do contracts that are multi-year. One board actually can't go into a contract on behalf of another board, so you won't really see those coming through.
Good catch, Liz.
Anything else? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion is carried. Number 7, approval of elevator maintenance of Buffalo contract. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the contract with the elevator maintenance of Buffalo for examination and lubrication services for the 2026-2027 school year. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Are all the elevators working properly? I know there's problems with the elementary one, and they're all
Everything's running.
awesome.
It's all been inspected.
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 8, approval of breakfast and lunch prices. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the school breakfast lunch prices for the 2026-2027 school year as follows. Students' breakfast is $2 K through 5, $2 6 through 12. Lunch is $3 K5, $3.10 6 12. Adults is $3.75. Lunch is $5.50. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Becky, do you want to speak to that?
I will. So we are still in the free breakfast and lunch era. Most of the school districts around us, when I consulted with superintendents, weren't increasing their lunch prices. The adult prices are going up. That's where you're required to do that per regulation for adult purchasing, so that's there. There has been some talk about whether or not the free breakfast and free lunch is gonna go away. So another reason for us to really be thoughtful about not increasing our prices. At some point, if we do have to bring families back on an on-ramp, we might have some couple of tough years in the cafeteria of that, but we wanna be cognizant that we don't go from free to $4.75, right? So everyone is holding.
Question on that, Liz. If I remember correctly, we have surplus from those values that goes to the fund. Is that still gonna be the case with increased cost of goods this coming year? Or did that gap shorten?
So I haven't seen, you're asking about like when we get into cooperative bidding for the purchasing of our food and our services at the cafeteria. I haven't seen anything yet that tells me that, you know, buying bread from last year and a cooperative bid to this year, what those increases are gonna be. I can't answer you yet.
Okay.
The cafeteria, unlike any other department within our school, does have to operate on its own. So it kind of operates as a business on its own. So if it is in the black, which honestly, before free breakfast and free lunch, it was never in the black. The district was really sort of sponsoring the cafeteria. If they're functioning in the black, they're only allowed to maintain so much surplus. They actually have to buy all their own equipment. If they want a new dishwasher, they have to buy their own dishwasher. So we can do some of those things in a capital project, but they pretty much function as a business inside themselves. So it would not be unheard of if we were under the old system for us to be very much in the red and having to bail out the cafeteria. So this is new for us, for most schools.
When does the government announce their reimbursement rates? Is that increasing with commodity prices?
They are going up right now a little bit. I still don't have access to 26-27. They are supposed to post late August is what I'm being told, that they don't put them out as early as the reorg. We've always done our pricing at the reorg, so I stuck with that, but no, I can't see pricing from the federal government or from the state. I was on the state's website this week, or last week, looking for these. You cannot see next year's yet.
Thank you. And then did we, I think in the audit report last year, we were supposed to clean up the accounts and balances that were due from people who borrowed for lunches. Were we successful with that?
Everything is cleaned up, but if I remember correctly, I don't think there was any findings for school lunch fund.
Okay.
I think
That was 2 years ago.
I think that one came back perfect, actually.
Good.
Yeah,
But
since,
all balances owed, we get a list of that at the end of the fiscal year. Last year, those were all paid out. I just got the list last week, so they'll
It's
be
a
paid
win.
out this year as well.
Good. Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 9, setting the 2026-2027 tax levy. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, set the tax levy for the 2026-2027 annual school budget at $7,923,478. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second?
Thank you. Any discussion?
I'll just remind everybody that that's just regulatory, right? The voters passed it, now you all set it in stone for us, and that will allow us to begin the process for tax bills being printed and mailed out and then collected.
Are we going to send communication to the residents of Wheatland
We're gonna send communication to everyone.
about the mistake
about
that
the
we corrected?
correction.
All right,
Yes,
thank
we
you.
are, yes, we are. I'll have a letter ready to go. My goal is to have the letter go out to the community about a week or so before the tax bills hit, so that you guys know, we cannot actually, we had a few of our sessions, I'm looking at Liz, we were sitting next to me in the chorus room. We had a few community members that basically said, we'd like you to be as transparent as you can be about the correction. So what they wanted was either like a slip of paper that would say, your bill went down $17 because of the correction, you know, your bill went up $27 because of the correction. We actually cannot do that. So we've been in contact with the Office of Real Property. The only thing we can change on that tax bill is the tax rate. That is it. So what we're gonna have to do in our letter is help people understand what the tax rate would have been and what it is with the correction. And so I'm envisioning maybe a table so you can see what portions of, it's so complicated, you guys, because I already know, we've already started to see those results from June of what the equalization rates are gonna be, and Wheatland is getting ready to drop again. We projected Wheatland at maybe 64, and did it come back at
64, they came at 61.
61,
Yeah.
right? Yep, so equalization rates dropped. So even when we go to do this, how to tell you what portion of your tax rate is because of your equalization and what portion of that is because you underpaid in 2024, I'm gonna have no way of doing that.
I think just making note of it and acknowledging that it exists and that we did take corrective action, that was one of the topics where I actually got phone calls from people that are like, what is this?
Yeah, so we will do it again, in terms of how that's gonna look in the communication. It will not accompany the tax bill, because there is no way for me to deliver that message to Brennan Colwell, right? It's gonna have to be, we deliver a message to the entire all taxable properties, and then when you get your tax bill, you're gonna have to try to understand your tax bill.
Yep. That's perfect.
So that's coming.
Thank you.
Very excited about that.
It's our responsibility.
It is our responsibility, and it's tough, and we are doing it, and we are going to communicate in all the right ways. I just think in the end, it is a challenge for folks to understand. So whatever you guys need, I'll get you drafts of that before it goes out, and then whatever you guys need, when you're fielding questions, to be able to explain it to folks is really what I think is gonna be consistently our front line. What does two-way communication really mean? It means when people call you, you gotta be able to speak to it too, or direct them straight to me and I'll keep doing it, but I do think it's imperative that as a governance team, that we fully understand it. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 10, review of annual average daily attendance. Per board policy number 7110, the district's annual daily attendance for the 2025-2026 school year was 93.92, slightly down from the 2024-2025 year of 94.21. That is just a review, does not require a motion. Anyone want to comment on that? That's a great rate. Okay. Number 11, approval of intermunicipal cooperative agreement, school resource officers. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the intermunicipal cooperative agreement between the Caledonia-Mumford Central School Districts and the Village of Caledonia regarding the school resource officer for the 2026-2027 school year. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
A second?
A second?
Any discussion?
I will just say here that we are very lucky to have a partnership with a local police department. In general, our neighboring districts that are using county resources in order to do this are paying the amount that we are paying for one officer. So I'm consistently just very happy that we have a local law enforcement organization that partners with us. So thank you to the Village of Caledonia for your continued support of our school.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 12, approval of the best value cooperative purchasing. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve best value, whereas the district's purchase of materials and services are made in accordance with General Municipal Law, Article 5-A. Whereas General Municipal Law 103 allows the district as a municipal entity to purchase certain materials and services at a price determined to be best value rather than lowest responsible bidder by the Board of Education. Whereas best value is defined by New York State Finance Law 163 as the basis for awarding contracts for services to the offerer, which optimizes quality, cost, and efficiency among responsive and responsible offers. Such basis shall reflect, wherever possible, objective and quantifiable factor for offerers that are small business, certified minority, or women-owned business enterprises, as defined in subdivisions 1, 7, 15, 20 of section 300 and of the executive law, or service-disabled veteran-owned business enterprises as defined in subdivision 1 of section 379 of the executive law, to be used in evaluation of offers for awarding of contracts for services. Whereas the district as a municipal entity may purchase in accordance with General Municipal Law 103 through bids solicited by the United States government, the New York State government, and the New York political subdivisions, including school districts, through bids let in a manner consistent with the materially equivalent to New York State requirements for bidding, or may piggyback on any contract or bid approved for piggybacking through the New York State Office of General Services. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Caledonia Mumford Central School District hereby authorizes the purchase of materials and services using a best value determination as an option to lowest responsible bidder in accordance with General Municipal Law 103 and in compliance with all district purchasing policies and procedures with board approval. Be it further resolved that the resolution shall take effect immediately on adoption. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 13, approval of Equalus Group Cooperative Purchasing Agreement. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve specific cooperative, whereas the Caledonia Mumford Central School District, pursuant to the authority granted in municipal law, Article 5A, Section 103, desires to participate in the Equalus Group Purchasing Cooperative. And whereas Section 103 of the General Municipal Law permits the school district to make purchases of apparatus, materials, equipment, or supplies, or to contract for services related to the installation, maintenance, or repair of apparatus, materials, equipment, and supplies, may make such purchases or may contract for such services related to the installation, maintenance, or repair of apparatus, materials, equipment, and supplies, as may be required by the school district therein, through the use of contract let by the United States of America or any agency thereof, any state or any other country or political subdivision or district therein, if such contract was let to the lowest responsible bidder, or on the basis of best value in a manner consistent with this section and made available for use by the other governmental entities. And whereas the school district desires to participate for the purpose of fulfilling and executing its public governmental purposes, goals, objectives, programs, and functions, and whereas the school district has reviewed the benefits of participating in this program and based on this review has concluded the program will provide the best value to taxpayers of this school district through the anticipated savings to be realized. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Caledonia Mumford Central School District authorizes the school district's participation in the Equalus Group Purchasing Cooperative and authorizes the business administrator or the purchasing agent to register for the Equalus Group Purchasing Program on behalf of the school district. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately on adoption. May I have a motion, please?
Make it.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion is carried. Arnie?
Boy.
Actually, it doesn't have to be- just give me a break for one. I'll go back at it.
Break for two.
Thank you.
I was gonna leave early. I won't do that to
After
you.
this.
No.
Thanks, Arnie.
Approval of Omnia Partners Cooperative Purchasing Agreement. Specific cooperative, whereas the Caledonia Mumford Central School District, pursuant to the authority granted in General Municipal Law, Article 5A, Public Contracts, Section 103, desires to participate in the Omnia Partners Purchasing Cooperative. And whereas Section 103 of the General Municipal Law permits the school district to make purchases of apparatus, materials, equipment, or supplies, or to contract for services related to the installation, maintenance, or repair of apparatus, materials, equipment, and supplies, may make such purchases, or may contract for such services related to the installation, maintenance, or repair of apparatus, materials, equipment, and supplies as may be required by the school district therein through the use of a contract let by the United States of America or any agency thereof, any state or any other county or political subdivision or district therein, if such contract was led to the lowest responsible bidder or on the basis of best value in a manner consistent with this section and made available for use by other government entities. And whereas the school district desires to participate for the purpose of fulfilling and executing its public governmental purposes, goals, objectives, programs, and functions. And whereas the school district has reviewed the benefits of participating in this program, and based on this review has concluded the program will provide the best value to taxpayers of this school district through the anticipated savings to be realized. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of Caledonia-Mumford Central School District authorizes the school district participation in Omnia Partners Purchasing Cooperative and authorizes the business administrator or the purchasing agent to register for the Omnia Partners Purchasing Program on behalf of the school district. Make a motion?
I'll make it.
All right, second?
Second.
Discussion? No?
The
All in
lawyers have a
favor?
lot to say.
Aye. All opposed? And carried. I'll get the next one, Liz. 15, approval of TIPS, Cooperative Purchasing Agreement. Specific cooperative, whereas Section 103 of the General Municipal Law permits the Caledonia-Mumford Central School District to make purchases of apparatus, materials, equipment, or supplies, or to contract for services related to the installation, maintenance, or repair of apparatus, materials, equipment, and supplies, as may be required by the school district through the use of contract led by the United States of America or any agency thereof, any state or any other county or political subdivision or district therein, if such contract was let to the lowest responsible bidder or on the basis of best value in a manner consistent with Section 103, made available for use by other governmental entities. And whereas the Interlocal Purchasing System, TIPS, is a national purchasing cooperative through which a member entity may make lawful purchases through TIPS contracts under the same terms, conditions, and proposed pricing as awarded by TIPS. And whereas under TIPS, the Region 8 Education Service Center is the lead public agency formed under the leases of the state of Texas. And whereas TIPS has the legislative authority to establish contracts for government education agencies nationwide, whereas the school district pursuant to the authority granted in General Municipal Law Section 103 desires to participate in TIPS Purchasing Cooperative. And whereas the school district desires to participate for the purpose of fulfilling and executing its public governmental purposes, goals, objectives, programs, and functions. And whereas the school district has reviewed the benefits of participating in this program, and based on this review has concluded the program will provide the best value to the taxpayers of this school district through the anticipated savings and efficiencies to be realized. And whereas school district personnel, prior to entering into a cooperative contract through TIPS, will make an independent review of the TIPS cooperative procurement specifications and contract to determine that the contract was awarded using competitive bidding procedures consistent with New York law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education, Caledonia Mumford Central School District authorizes the school district number 39's participation in the TIPS purchasing cooperative and authorizes the business administrator or the purchasing agent to register for the TIPS purchasing program on behalf of the school district. Motion?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
I got a discussion here, Arnie.
Oh, I'm sorry,
to
discussion.
interject.
Sorry
Okay.
about that.
This is the program we used with the Elmer Davis contract.
It is.
Are we bound by this? Do we have to take that contract that they offer through this program, or can we explore options outside of it once we agree to be in this?
The reason why we do it the way we do it, especially with Elmer Davis, is because we have a roof replacement plan. And so the roof replacement plan, the type of roofing that we're putting on, they're certified to put this particular roof on. So you're careful sometimes through your cooperative bidding purchasing that you don't go out and end up with a different type of roof, with a different type of roofing system, right? So what this does is basically, they've already agreed to state pricing for anything that they're charging you to do. And then you get an opportunity now with them to push back. So let's go back to the board meeting where Mike Ferrari was saying, well, we met with them, we disagreed with their numbers on this part, right? We actually, if we had put that out to bid and it had just come back with its number, there'd be nothing we could do with it. When it comes back in a TIPS contract, we actually sit and say, we disagree with you. We want to see this many numbers here and this many numbers there. We can negotiate with that, right? Where you cannot do that when you put something out to bid. So TIPS does allow us to guarantee that we're gonna get the best pricing and allows us to negotiate within those contractual New York State dollar figures. So we like this because it gives us leverage in negotiating.
Okay, perfect.
Question on the wording where it says number 39. Is
Yes.
that
Yeah.
what is that?
It's how we're listed in TIPS.
Okay, okay. And then should it be apostrophe, not semicolon S?
Yeah, it's a little.
Honestly, I send all these out to attorneys to have them read and say, do you still like this
Get a
resolution? And
refund.
they send them back to me saying, yes, I still like this one. So he likes it, just the way that it's worded.
Really? Oh, boy.
This is
Alright.
the one I said, Sherry, do not publish this one without. So there have been some battling going on inside the state of New York around TIPS contracts in particular. So I've been sharing that with the board, piggybacking and using TIPS contracts, kind of sharing with you the lay of the land. We might see some changes in this in the way that New York State even handles this come 2027. But for right now, according to legal counsel, we should continue to use this practice when it is the best way for us to purchase. Therefore, you still see it here. This might not be here this time next year. There's a law sitting on the governor's desk. It could create a lot of expense in the state of New York if we're not able to use this type of system. So there's a lot of pushback right now on, we're talking about the cost of living and the cost of doing business in the state of New York. And so this is actually one area where you're gonna probably see both NISCUS and NISBA be annoyed by this. And not just us, right? Anybody that has to purchase through municipal agreement, that they're gonna like to see these stay. So we'll watch that on its front. If things change, you'll see me coming back to the board to say, let's do something different here so that we stay within the constraints of the law.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried.
Moving on to 16, authorization of ROC team to negotiate data privacy agreements. Whereas 4 BOCES have collaborated and entered into an Article 5 General Municipal Law intermunicipal agreement for the purposes of improving vendor management and data security and privacy practices for the school districts and/or BOCES statewide, known as the RIC 1 Risk Operations Center, the ROC. Whereas the Board of Education of the Caledonia Mumford School District, through its affiliation with the locally based Regional Information Center, participates with the ROC and desires for the 2026-2027 fiscal year to authorize the ROC and its attorneys to negotiate data privacy agreements and related exhibits with vendors and third-party contractors that include the requirements of and compliance with New York State Education Law, Section 2-D and Part 121 regulations related to students' personally identifiable information, PII, and certain teacher and principal APPR data. Whereas the ROC also partners with New York SED, the Access for Learning Student Data Privacy Consortium, and the Education Cooperative to negotiate and approve ED Law 2-D compliant DPAs. Whereas the DPAs are presented to school districts and/or BOCES for final execution and do not require the expenditure of funds beyond those budgeted. Be it resolved, the Caledonia-Mumford Board of Education authorizes the use of DPAs negotiated by the ROC and its attorneys consistent with its needs and the needs of its students. And be it further resolved that the Caledonia-Mumford Central School District reserves to itself the right to make determinations regarding the use of such DPAs and the software and/or technology resources to which they relate, and to consult with its own legal counsel to review any specific issues or concerns before executing any DPAs. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 17, approval of transportation contract agreement, courier van. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the transportation contract agreement with the Leroy Central School District regarding the use of the courier van from July 6, 2026 through August 15, 2026 per attached agreement. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Discussion, I think this is when you.
This is what I.
Yes.
This is what you have the question about?
Yep.
Did you get answered, Cam?
Yep, we're good.
I would just say thank you to Leroy CSD, year 2.
There's a typo, I'm sorry, in the agreement on this 6nd day. Like, it should be like 6th, not 6nd.
Okay, that should be good to move forward.
I mean, yeah, it's just, you know, it caught my eye, as it does.
367 pages.
Right, thereabouts.
Doing the best.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 18, approval of the memorandum of understanding, Genesee County YMCA. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the memorandum of understanding between Genesee County YMCA and Calmon Central School Districts effective September 2026 through June 2027 school year. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second.
Arnie, Becca, second. Any discussion?
I'll just point out that it includes pre-K, so.
Wraparound, both
For
ends of the
afternoon.
afternoon?
Afternoons.
How many kids take advantage of it?
Michelle is not sitting there right now. Michelle,
Yeah,
how
I
many,
understand that.
Michelle, how
Sorry.
many kids take advantage of the YMCA after-school program? Do you know?
It
They're having
varies.
around
I would say-
44.
I would say about, for pre-K, you're saying?
No,
Oh.
in total.
I would say about 20
Okay,
consistently, 20 consistently.
nice. Thank you.
And we have 20 interested in the wrap care after school for pre-K.
Great.
Specifically.
Thank you for working on that.
Yes, thank you.
And that's something families pay for?
Yes.
Okay, I couldn't remember how that worked. And it's very reasonable, isn't it?
Yes, it is very
It's a good
reasonable.
program. Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 19, approval of new civil service roster position of school bus attendant. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the creation of 3 roster positions for the civil service title of school bus attendant effective June 15th, 2026. May I have a motion, please?
Make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
These positions are aided at transportation rate.
They are.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 20, approval of service agreement, Hillside Children's Center. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the service agreement between the Caledonia-Mumford Central School District and the Hillside Children's Center for the 2026-2027 school year. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Number-
Before we move on, Brennan mouthed to me that it's not transportation aid that we get, we stack. So when we put a bus attendant on, it's because there's a student with an individualized education plan that needs special services on the bus. So we do generate aid, but through the stack
Okay.
system.
Or stay.
Depends on the child.
Yeah,
But we
401
stack
and
it.
4201, they're just two different grants that we get reimbursed for. So it's actually, it generates more aid than transportation.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes, thank you.
I'm on 21, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Thought you were on 33.
21, authorization of board president to appoint impartial hearing officers. Resolved that the president and vice president of the Board of Education are designated and authorized to appoint impartial hearing officers from the New York State Education Department's rotational list of impartial hearing officers. When a request for impartial hearing has been filed with the district pursuant to Part 200 of the regulations of the Commissioner of Education and Board Policy Number 7670. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion is carried. Number 22, approval of impartial hearing officer compensation rates. Resolved that the Board of Education of the Caledonia Mumford Central School District, upon recommendation of the superintendent of schools, shall compensate impartial hearing officers who have been certified by the Commissioner of Education of the State of New York to serve as impartial hearing officers in accordance with Education Law, Section 4404, and 8 New York CRR, Section 200, at the following rates for services and expenses. 1. Certified impartial hearing officers shall be compensated at the rate of $100 per hour for time spent in pre-hearing, hearing, and post-hearing activities of researching and writing a decision. The district does not and will not pay for hearing dates which are adjourned or canceled, regardless of the reason, when the adjournment or cancellation is on 2 or more business days' notice. 2. Certified impartial hearing officers will be reimbursed for reasonable and customary office expenses of photocopying, postage, facsimiles incurred, and for travel time to and from the hearing at the rate of $40 per hour. 3. Automobile travel shall be reimbursed at the then current per mile rate, which is established from time to time for travel by district employees and representatives. 4. Airline or train travel shall be reimbursed at the actual reasonable cost incurred by the impartial hearing officer. 5. The district will reimburse the impartial hearing officer for the cost of their lodging up to $80 per night with receipts submitted, or $55 per night without receipts submitted for hearing dates that fall on consecutive days. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion is carried. 23, approval of rotational list of impartial hearing officers. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the attached Caledonia Mumford CSD rotational list of impartial hearing officers for the 2026-2027 school year per the impartial hearing reporting system at the approved rate. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 24, approval of list of agencies evaluators for independent educational evaluations. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the attached list of agencies evaluators for independent educational evaluations for the 2026-2027 school year. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Second, Liz?
Doesn't matter.
Discussion? Sure. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 25, approval of softball overnight trip. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the request for the softball team to participate in an overnight field trip to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, from March 20th, 2027 through March 26th, 2027, per the regulations set forth by Board Policy Number 8460, field trips. Cost for chaperones will be passed on to the student fee price. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Second, Peggy. Any discussion?
I'll just point out that this will be a back-to-back year trip. So typically Dan goes every other year with the softball team, and they're pretty jazzed right now, and they're gonna go. He does do a parent meeting before he starts these conversations with kids, and the softball program does a fantastic job of fundraising to help parents offset the cost. But I did want you to know it's a back-to-back trip, because we did just travel.
And I noticed that the parents transport their own kids.
They do. That's
That's
they
pretty
do.
interesting. So the parents are sometimes taking their own vacation or something while they're down.
Yes, it is definitely becoming quite the thing.
A destination
Yes,
spot?
ma'am. Yes, it is.
Huh. That's good. I mean, that's good.
Yes, I mean, the cost of the trip is substantially reduced by
Oh, yeah,
parents
sure.
transporting. Those coach buses
Oh,
were
so
starting to
expensive.
really get us with the expense.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 26 is the first reading of board policy, number 7670, due process complaints, selection and board appointment of impartial hearing officers. We spoke of that earlier. We'll have our second read at the next meeting. Number 27, ratification of collective bargaining agreement with the CMAA. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, ratify the collective bargaining agreement between the Caledonia Mumford Administrators Association and the Superintendent of Schools effective July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion is carried. Good work. 28, ratification of collective bargaining agreement with CMSSA. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, ratify the collective bargaining agreement between the Caledonia Mumford Support Staff Association and the superintendent of schools effective July 1, 2026 through June 30th, 2029. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. 29, approval of athletic code of conduct. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the athletic code of conduct for the 2026-2027 school year. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion is carried. 30, Asbestos Hazard Emergency Response Act, Periodic Surveillance Review, is in your backup notes. Any questions on that? All right. 31, appointment of Genesee Area Healthcare Plan Board members. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, appoint Rebecca Schnell as a Genesee Area Healthcare Plan primary board member and Brendan Colwell as a first alternate GAHP board member for the 2026-2027 school year. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I would just tell the board that as a board, we went out we RFP'd for a new vendor to come in and support us. That we have a special meeting coming up where we're gonna look at what they think they can do to help us get some cost savings inside this healthcare plan. So very hopeful, and we'll keep you posted.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion is carried. Number 32, adoption of bond resolution, GVET BOCES capital project. This is a roll call vote. My plan is to read this resolution. We'll do the motion in second. We'll have a discussion, and then I'll do the roll call. Adoption of bond resolution. Resolved that the board. Did I hear you say you wanted to read it? Like 7 pages.
We could take turns.
Hang on, I'll get through it, guys. We can do this.
All right, we can do it. We can do hard things.
Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the following bond resolution for the Genesee Valley BOCES capital project. Bond resolution dated July 14th, 2026, authorizing the issuance of $1,721,173 general obligation bonds of the Caledonia Mumford School District, New York, to pay said school district's share of the cost of certain capital improvements to the existing BOCES facilities. Whereas the Genesee Livingston Steuben Wyoming Board of Cooperative Education Services, New York, has heretofore been created in the Caledonia Mumford Central School District, is one of the component school districts thereof. Whereas at a special election of the qualified voters of the BOCES held on June 9, 2026, a proposition was duly approved authorizing the BOCES to undertake additions to and construction and reconstruction of school buildings and facilities at BOCES-owned campuses at 8250 State Street, Batavia, New York, and 27 Lackawanna Avenue, Mount Morris, New York, to increase their utility for the purposes of the BOCES at a maximum estimated cost of $42,995,649. And in furtherance thereof, the BOCES has entered into an agreement by and among the BOCES and each of the component school districts of the BOCES, providing for such construction, reconstruction, equipping the allocation and appropriament of such maximum cost amount among such component school districts and the payment by each such component school districts of its respective share to the BOCES and other matters incidental thereto. Whereas said unanimous agreement has heretofore been duly executed by the BOCES and by each of the component school districts thereof. Whereas pursuant to section 1950 of the education law, neither the approval of the voters of the component school districts nor the voting of special tax or a tax to be collected in installments are conditions precedent to the adoption of the boards of education of each respective component school districts of the BOCES of bond resolutions authorizing the financing of the respective proportionate share of the aforesaid maximum cost. Whereas the Genesee Valley BOCES as lead agency under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act and the application regulations thereunder has heretofore completed its environmental review and on February 18th, 2026, duly issued a negative declaration and determination that the implementation of the Type 1 action as proposed will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts. Whereas it is now desired to authorize an appropriation by the school district of its share of the aforesaid maximum costs and to authorize the financing by this school district of its share of the aforesaid maximum cost, all of the authorized by said section 1950 of the education law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Caledonia-Mumford Central School District, New York, by a majority vote of the entire voting strength of the Board of Education as follows. Section 1, the specific object or purpose to be financed pursuant to this resolution is the share of the school district of the maximum cost of the aforesaid construction, reconstruction, and equipping of facilities owned by BOCES, as more fully described in the preamble hereto. No money has heretofore been authorized to be applied to the payment of the cost of the purpose. Section 2, the share of the school district of the maximum cost of the aforesaid purpose is $1,721,173. The plan for the financing thereof is by the issuance of an aggregate $1,721,173 of general obligation serial bonds of said school district hereby authorized to be issued pursuant to the local finance law, and said amount is hereby appropriated therefore. Investment earnings on such obligations shall be applied to either the debt service on such obligations or to the cost of the aforesaid purpose, but only if within the school district's share amount is set forth above, or as may be proportionately increased by the Board of Education, but only if within the overall BOCES authorization. Such bonds and notes are to be payable from amounts which shall annually be levied on all the taxable real property in the school district, and the faith and the credit of the school district are hereby pledged by the payment of the bonds and notes and interest thereon. Section 3, it is hereby determined that the period of probable usefulness of the aforesaid purpose is 30 years pursuant to subdivision 14 of section 1950 of the education law. Section 4, subject to the provisions of the local finance law, the power to authorize the issuance of and to sell the bonds herein authorized and the bond anticipation notes in anticipation of issuance and the sale of such bonds, including renewals of such notes, is hereby delegated to the President of the Board of Education, the Chief Fiscal Officer, or to the Vice President of the Board in the event of the absence or unavailability of the President. Such bonds and notes shall be of such terms, forms, and contents, and shall be sold in such manner as may be prescribed by said President or Vice President of the Board of Education, consistent with the provisions of the local finance law. Section 5, all other matters except as provided herein relating to the bonds and notes herein authorized, including the date, denominations and maturities and interest payment dates within the limitations prescribed herein, and the manner of execution of the same, and also including the authority to determine whether to accept bids electronically to the extent allowed by the local finance law. The consolidation with other issues, the determination to issue bonds and substantially level or declining annual debt services, all contracts for and determinations with respect to credit or liquidity enhancements, if any, shall be determined by the President of the Board of Education or by the Vice President of the Board in the event of the absence of or unavailability of the President. Such bonds and notes shall contain substantially the recital of validity clause provided for in section 52.00 of the local finance law, and shall otherwise be in such form and contain such recitals, in addition to those required by section 51.00 of the local finance law, as the President or Vice President of the Board of Education shall determine consistent with the provisions of the local finance law. Section 6, it is hereby determined and declared that the school district reasonably expects to reimburse the general fund not to exceed the maximum amount authorized herein from the proceeds of the obligations authorized hereby for expenditures, if any, from such fund that may be made for the purpose prior to the date of issuance of such obligations. This is a declaration of official intent under Treasury Regulation 1.150-2. Section 7. The validity of such bonds and notes may be contested only if such obligations are authorized for an object or purpose for which said school district is not authorized to expend money, or the provisions of law which should be complied with as of the date of publication of this resolution are not substantially complied with. And an action, suit, or proceeding contesting such validity is commenced within 20 days after the date of such publication, or such obligations are authorized in violation of the provisions of the Constitution. Section 8, this bond resolution or a summary hereof shall be published in the official newspaper of the school district, together with a notice of the school district clerk in substantially the form provided in section 81.00 of the local finance law. Section 9, the bond resolution shall take effect immediately. I will now conduct, may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
I would like to point out that we have to do this. So similarly to how our general contractor has an assurity, right? Everybody has to come in secured when you're in a capital project. This is us telling BOCES we are good for our portion. Whether we have to bond for any of it, none of it, all of it, this is giving us permission to do so. So we've not lost any control as a governing body by completing this resolution for funding some of this using fund balance or any of the other ways in which we have discussed financing this project. But the BOCES does need either the full balance, so we would have to either give them the 1.7 next summer, or we have to have this bond resolution that says that we're good for it. So that's what this is this evening, is just making sure that the BOCES has their assurity.
I will now conduct the roll call vote. I'm sorry, any other questions to that? Roll call vote. Mr. Belanek.
Aye.
Mrs. Dietrich.
Aye.
Dr. McNair.
Aye.
Mrs. Roll.
Aye.
Mr. Seeley.
Aye.
Mr. Ritschelke.
Aye.
I am an aye. That is, the question of the adoption of the foregoing resolution was duly put to a vote on roll call, which resulted as follows: 7 ayes, 0 nays. The motion is carried.
Very good.
I'll do the last one.
There's one more.
There's 2 more.
There is?
Yeah, we added one.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I guess I don't have that.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna talk about it.
Go ahead.
All right, well, I'll do 33 anyway.
Thank you.
Sure. It's one of my favorites. Approval of contract for music therapy services. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the contract between Caledonia Mumford Central School District and School of the Holy Child for music therapy services commencing on July 6, 2026, and terminating on August 14, 2026. Motion?
I'll make it.
Second.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried.
All right, number 34, I pulled it off the consent agenda. This is warrant number 2. We need to review and discuss that, so may I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second,
Second.
discussion.
I was hoping in these warrants to have a little more clarity in some of the memos. I didn't see it, just so that when we're glancing at it, we know exactly what it is. And the other thing, there's a lot of stuff that hits at the end of the year, a lot of expenses. I guess there was one item that I brought to Dr. Chanel and Liz earlier that I wasn't sure it was just a miscommunication on an employment agreement. And so I got clarification on that before the meeting. Okay.
What? That's it?
So,
Liz, are you abstaining from yours?
I feel like I should.
What number is it?
It is check number, well, 70300. That's just a reimbursement to me.
Okay, so Liz is gonna abstain from that. We'll separate that, we'll do that first.
Thank you.
Motion to approve that, well,
It's a
I
batch.
can't.
It's
I
a
would
batch.
just
It's just- I can just abstain from the whole deal, right?
Okay, you're gonna abstain
Yeah.
from the whole thing,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Motion, well, I'm sorry, guys, it's late. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Liz is abstaining. That motion is carried.
Thanks.
Next on our agenda is call for executive session. Resolved that the Board of Education adjourn to executive session, this is wild, at 9:40 PM for the purpose of discussing the following matters pursuant to Public Officers Law, matters leading to the appointment, employment history, or discipline of particular persons. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye. All in
Aye.
favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We're going to executive session. Resolved that we're coming back from executive session. Resolved that the Board of Education return to regular session at 10:56 PM. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Second PM.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion is carried. We're gonna go through personnel. Personnel 1, approval of annually appointed stipend positions. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the following annually appointed stipend positions for the 2026-2027 school year. Scott Marble, Molly Mart, Sue Mills, Barb Burns, Tim McCardle, Ed Michaud. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 2, appointment of summer reading program teachers. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, appoint the following teachers for the 2026 summer reading program: Tammy Nothnagel, Lisa Carney, Patty Wade, Ronnie Jo Bellows, Odette McClure. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Second,
Peggy.
Peggy, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 3, appointment of tenure school psychologist. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, appoint Abigail Monroe to the tenure position of school psychologist, tenure area. The tenured service shall begin on August 1st, 2026, pending successful completion of the probationary term to end July 31st, 2026. The appointee holds provisional certification in school psychology. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it. Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 4, appointment of mentors and mentor coordinators. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the following mentor and mentor coordinators for the 2026-2027 school year. Mentor, Patty Wade with Katie Stahl, Kayla Kozinski with Alexis
Amy.
Amy?
Amy.
Amy. Alexis Amy. Her last name is Amy.
Thank you. Alexis Amy. Calder DePrez. Thomas Presley. It is a little bit complicated.
It is.
It is. You're doing
Ashley
great.
Cornwell with Ann and Trombley. Mentor coordinators are Chad Chalk and Sarah Sheffield. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion is carried. I apologize if I misread a name, to the people out there watching. Number 5, resignation of food service helper for purpose of retirement. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, accept with regret and best wishes the resignation for the purpose of retirement, Kathy Estabrooks, effective June 30th, 2026. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 6, approval of substitutes. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the following substitutes for the 2026-2027 school year. Tracy McGinnis, Delaney Bean, Kathy Estabrooks, Isabella Indiano, Lindsay Hilchi. Motion, please.
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 7, appointment of summer workers. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the following 2026 summer workers effective on or about June 26, 2026, through on or about August 21st, 2026. Buildings and Grounds, Kaden Benelli. IT, Maya Roger. Austin Walker, Maeve Nothnagel. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 8, approval of substitute teachers. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the following student teachers for the fall term 2026-2027 school year. They will be with Mrs. Schaaf, Mr. Maloon, and Mr. Mervine. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 9, approval of MOA with CMTA, reimbursement for graduate credit. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the memorandum of agreement between the Caledonia-Mumford School District, the Caledonia-Mumford Teacher Association, and employee number 1004. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 10, appointment of extracurricular positions. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, appoint the attached list of extracurricular positions for the 2026-2027 school year. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 11, appointment of school bus attendants. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, appoint the following persons to the probationary civil service position of school bus attendant effective July 15th, 2026 through July 14th, 2027. Michael Spezzano Sr. and Charlene Gassman. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 12, approval of MOA with CMSSA, special provisions bus drivers. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the memorandum of agreement between the Caledonia-Mumford Central School District and Caledonia-Mumford Support Staff Association. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Number 13, approval of summer bus runs. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the following school bus drivers and school bus attendants for summer bus runs. The drivers being Stephanie Lean, Kevin Brannigan, Ed Michaud, Larry Becker, Carol Day. Attendants Margaret Newborn, Charlene Gassman, Michael Spezzano, and Shannon Gear. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Second, Liz. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Appointment of bus driver, number 14. Resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, appoint the following persons to the probationary civil service position of school bus driver effective July 15th, 2026 through to July 14th, 2027. Charlene Gassman. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. We are moving to adjournment. Thank you for your patience tonight. It's been a long one. Resolved that the Board of Education adjourn the meeting of July 14th, 2026 at 11:04 PM. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Have a good evening.